Oh.
Huh?
No,
What's
KJ
going
isn't
on?
aggression.
All right, guys. The actual meeting recording is going on now, so let's be a little bit more professional.
Thanks, Minna.
Relatively, yes. My channel chat guy is going crazy. My text channel. Or text.
Yeah, I know. How do you turn that off?
Configure.
Alright, cool. Alright. How many we got here? 25, 26? Alright. Right off the bat. I know I sent this link earlier. This is going to be the live notes. So I'm going to be editing these notes real time. So if you guys have editing and commenting permission. So if you guys want to add in anything, or if you don't want to talk on Mumble, some people I know don't want to talk. So there's a third tab on that Google Doc, which you can ask questions, or you can ask questions in the Mumble chat here. So
What exactly are we doing?
That's a good question.
you mean what's the point of the meeting?
Yes.
Hey, good question. Glad you asked that. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there's an agenda.
So right off the bat, we suck.
Okay.
No, we started this. I don't know. We started this like 4 years ago now. Actually, probably 5 years ago now.
Yeah, we're just over 4, I think.
Yeah. And we had some big ideas back in the day. We had some ideas of starting a community with a ton of different games and support for a ton of different games and social outlets, and just something that would actually kind of just over time just build itself. It started off strong. Obviously, my Minecraft started got caught on quick, and we got a lot of users right off the bat. So since then, I mean, things have kind of been stagnant. We've had people have obviously their lives, and I'm by far the biggest offender and biggest offender, I should say, of this whole thing. Life gets in the way, and you got stuff to do. So the overall point of this meeting is to literally push this community forward, and everyone's ideas, like literally, how do we push this community forward? How do we keep it going, and how do we actually grow it? Maybe it might not have anything to do with us. Maybe it's putting the right people in the right positions, or maybe it's having the right games, or maybe it's literally just something we haven't thought of yet. So that's the whole point of this meeting. We haven't had one in a long time. Actually, I don't think we've ever had a town hall meeting. So I wanted to do it in person. I wanted to do it with voice chat, so we can actually hear each other and talk to each other and stuff like that. So I'm happy you all came. So,
Bradley, before you continue, just to let you know you're cutting in and out a little bit.
Well, shoot.
You're fine for me.
Yeah, your volume's varying a tad bit.
It's what we discussed earlier.
You have a cracking voice.
Just to let you know before you continue. Sorry to interrupt.
All right. Well, if it keeps up, let me know. If you don't hear something, just interrupt, okay? Meanwhile, I'll just stick my mic right in my mouth.
I like that.
So, right off the bat, we aren't doing a good job, and that goes all the way to the top. The admins and I speak mostly for myself because I haven't been doing a good job. So, to be honest, I don't really know what all the admins have been doing. So, this is kind of like to get that together. So what do we do? How can we go from here? How can we change the staffing? I guess the first topic I want to talk about is kind of leadership discussion. So how can we put people, or obviously what we're doing isn't working, right? Is that the general consensus?
Yeah.
Across the board?
Just from that one guy.
That's true.
Or do you guys, okay, so let me ask this actually. Is what we're doing working? Or
what exactly are we doing?
All right, so what we're doing right now is we have a staffing, we have kind of a general staff setup where we have a game, we have a couple games, and we have a set staff for basically Rawcritics, right? And then we have whatever Starbound is right now, we have whatever Minecraft is right now, and all these other kind of side games or whatever. So we basically have one staffing solution for all these games, right? And currently we have, as you guys know, we have the moderator level, which is a certain permission set, and then there's the op level, and then there's the admin level, which is a lot more of the back end, the hardware stuff. So that's in general, without any kind of judgments on it. That's the current setup. So I guess my first question to you is that a good setup, or should we identify what we even want to do first before we talk about the setup?
A solution I've seen for a couple things is you could have different staff sets for the different games we play if we actually start to get into a bunch more games.
We
That's a
have that
good
to an
idea.
extent right now. Or we definitely have that set up. I'm a horrible person, forgot his name, even the name of the damn game right now. But yeah, we have a couple of people who are game specific staff at the moment.
Starbound, I think you mean.
You're thinking of Asmac?
Yeah.
Okay. So in general, we think that makes sense, or do we think it makes sense? Where obviously there's staff that have certain interests, so perhaps they should be in charge of staffing a certain game, right?
Yeah, because a lot of stuff, they don't want to get dragged out of the game they're playing to deal with issues in the game that they don't really like.
Yeah.
You sound a lot more awake now, Spazzy.
Or even don't want to install the other game.
A little bit. Oh yeah, that's it. Half the time, I don't know, for the last while, I don't even think I've had Feed the Beast installed since I reformatted.
I wouldn't expect most people to.
And then you have to consider, if we're going into more games, like games you pay for, not all the staff might own that game, so staffing in the game could be difficult or impossible for them because they don't actually own it.
Unless we want to create a default staff account that certain people have access to for all games.
Well, we do have a Rawcritics Steam account, but the problem with Steam accounts is it's got Steam Guard, which is a pain in the ass for sharing and stuff.
So go into detail on that a little bit more. What do you mean by Steam Guide?
It prevents you from logging in from multiple computers. If it's not the same computer you logged in from last time or previously, it kicks up all this security shit, and you got to go through the whatever. I don't know which email that Spackle did the account with, but it sends emails going in. Please enter this card. I'm pretty sure you can disable that. I think, but
I
don't know
think
what else
you
that
can.
disables. You can't.
Even if you do disable it, it's still it's going to be a lot of regional stuff, as well as people trying to play on the same account for different games at the same time. So that I don't see that working.
What's the hell the thing? The family mode or whatever the hell it is. I'm not sure how that would work though.
It's still beta right now. It doesn't work very well.
The problem with
glitchy. Only one person at a time can play any of the games.
Yeah, with the family sharing, the account you share with, if someone on the other account launches any game, the count that the games are shared to, it'll tell them they have to stop playing in the certain time span.
Okay.
I just want to stick this out here. Since Weir can't talk, Weir said, "I think so. That's not the problem I see with Rawcritics. I think the staff are doing a fine job. Minecraft has always been our core, or at least for as long as I've been playing, and I think our server is really a problem. We have a lack of new ideas and have been behind the current generation of players. Also, Silver Forte mentioned, haven't been following too much lately, but seems to me that they've tried a bunch of new stuff and none of it stuck. Minecraft is tired."
Yeah, in my opinion, if we want to stick with Minecraft, and I think honestly it's dying. The popular servers that are out right now, they're all like minigame stuff and just either heavily modded or just with a lot of work put in to have it vanilla Minecraft work with minigames with like the command blocks and stuff like that, right? So
yeah, vanilla.
We
vanilla
need something like that.
Yeah, Silver Forte mentioned Hunger Games like.
So let me ask this right off the bat: Is Minecraft vanilla something that anyone's even interested in anymore?
Not really, no.
I'm still interested in it.
There's still people who
there
play.
There are select groups of people who play, but it's not nearly as popular as it used to be.
It's
Yeah,
not.
I go back to it every now and then, but yeah, you play it for a few hours, and all of a sudden you have everything, and it gets boring again.
I think Mojang's bank account would certainly suggest otherwise.
Yeah, I think it really matters like what you consider vanilla.
Good one.
Because like vanilla in old school days was like no plugins. Now it's mods, but you can basically do what any mod can do with command blocks. So command blocks are like really good, and I don't think we use any of them.
No, everything we do is done via Bucket, I think.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention some people have also typed in some stuff. Camille says, not since I started FTB, but some people still play. Weir mentioned, I love it, but a few people don't change the server. Silver Forte also mentioned, when you have a goal in mind, you're driven to play the game. When you complete that, you've burned out until you produce another goal. And Anubis responded with exactly. Just to catch everybody.
I think one of the things, if we're talking about Minecraft now, like, we kind of need to get, like, we had the idea of new PvP, and that's kind of been brewing for a while, but, like, when we spurred it back up, we said, okay, we need to get this out within the month before the hype dies, and it's been a bit more than a month now.
Well, I can say for sure that Nimbalo actually has an alpha of his plugin that he's pushing out.
It's actually pretty much in beta testing at this point. He's just away this week, and when he comes back, he'll open it up. First to some staff, and then to some other players to figure out bugs.
Okay.
That's the status of that.
But so moving focus, kind of looking forward, I think we do have a core group of people who are still playing Minecraft, and who still really enjoy it. And I think the challenge is to draw more people, new people. I think probably 60% of people in here are burnt out on vanilla Minecraft anyway.
Something else I want to bring up is, I think the anarchy map that was brought up months ago, I think if we actually get that started and going, it'll keep people busy for a short amount of time at least. Just maybe a map to keep people busy and blow off steam for a little bit. I mean, as far as I know, it wouldn't be difficult to set up, so I think that would be a worthwhile investment.
I agree with that completely. I would love to see that happen.
Is the anarchy map meant as a short-term thing? What is that?
Yes. There's a thread about it?
Yeah. I think we should probably have faster implementation of like these kind of mini-game or temporary ideas or some method to do that with efficiency or something.
I like to cut in real quick. Silver Forte mentioned that, didn't we try an anarchy map? I was under the impression it wasn't popular for long.
The goal with this one would be just short term while we get the new PvP plugins written and done. And I would have loved to have seen it up a month ago. If it could go up, I'd be delighted to see that, just so people have something to play without the goal of a long-term map. Just right now.
So my understanding of anarchy maps isn't it just a standard vanilla map where there's basically no rules?
Yeah, pretty much.
Essentially,
couldn't you just launch one up real fast? It's not that hard.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to bring up. I'm not trying to.
You can put one up in the next 10 minutes.
Minimize the responsibilities of staff and their lives or anything, but this was asked for 2 or 3 times months ago, and nothing really came of it.
It takes like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a fair statement. All right, so short-term map to hold people over until PvP. So this is literally going to tell you guys how out of the loop I've been. So what is Nimbalo doing? And he's creating a PvP plugin set.
Yeah, a lot of it's discussion that we haven't released yet, but he's just working on a custom plugin for the new PvP map, and there's a lot of people I know hard at work working on the spawns and stuff like that.
I think I could speak to it a little bit because I've been on the newest test map.
Cool.
It's a little bit based on Spazzy's suggestion from a long while ago about an empire system. So it's a completely new way of PvP in some aspects. It's going to have something that is not towny, that is not based on money and crits. It's going to be based on materials more, and on separate empires and towns. And I've been playing with it. It's really kind of cool. I'd like to see what other people do. I'm not PvP, so it'll be good to see someone who actually plays PvP play with it, which should be happening in the next couple of weeks.
That sounds brilliant.
It's fantastic and be something that no one else has. It's completely different. And so I have the information for staff to get on right now. Well, Nim's away. I thought he was going to post something before he left, and he was leaving the first thing this morning, so I'm hoping he will post something tonight with the idea that next week we'll open it up to more players.
Because unique plugins are also a huge player draw.
Exactly.
That's great.
But that's still in the works right now. For the meantime, I would love to see Anarchy Map come up. And I don't know how long still, because it is a new plugin, before we're actually able to open it completely. And I can't speak to that because I'm not the one who's working it.
Alright, so
the Anarchy map, would that be the most recent version of vanilla, or the same version we run our normal maps at?
That's a good point.
I just want to bring up what was said in chat. Were said, right, would need a way to advertise the subject and idea. Silver Forte said trading items for things was one of the best aspects of alpha and in-dev Minecraft, and Axon agreed with Silver.
And Hay just entered the channel.
Hello.
So did Samovsky.
What?
We're on the latest version of vanilla, or like of Minecraft for the servers, right? I think
Yeah.
we're up to date.
Well,
Okay, cool.
isn't the most mumble froze? All right.
You're still
1.7.10.
Yes, the latest one.
Okay, cool. So I get the Anarchy talk, I get the PvP plugin talk. Thank
Well, I can
thank you for
put the Anarchy up
clarification.
now if you want.
Alright, cool. Can I check that off? No, okay. What about what we have now? And let's talk. Oh, don't hold anything back. Like what we have now, is it working? Does it work? Is it still needed? All that stuff, because it is a big resource draw. So.
In my opinion, it's not working too great at all. We have a bunch of staff who are not active, and you said yourself, a lot of the admins aren't very active. Just life gets in the way. It's a team from essentially like at least 2 years ago, right? And I find that a lot of people have moved on, myself included, from Minecraft at least. So I feel like we need to kind of overhaul that if we want active staffing and successful staffing.
We also need a more efficient advertising system, because I don't know, I haven't seen anything advertising for Rawcritics. I don't know if you guys are doing anything, but I haven't seen anything as of late.
Well, we're totally going to get to that. That's a whole section I'm going to talk about. So.
But with the current maps, as Silver said in chat, he said build's working, but nobody plays PvP, which is absolutely right. And from what I've talked to, everyone, well, most people are in favor of this new PvP map. It's just a matter of waiting for it to be done. So build's working. Creative, I mean, I'm sure people build on it. Like, we had the pixel art contest recently. So build's fine, PvP's coming, creative is fine. But I think, as we said earlier, we really need to expand, like, if we want people to join. Like, survival games has been popular for probably over a year now. And I think we had it for a little bit, and then we just gave up on it and didn't do it anymore. And then there's a bunch of other mini games that people enjoy playing, like Skyblock and stuff. Like, a lot of top servers, if you look, they have a Skyblock server. And, I don't know, I guess, like, expanding not into more maps, but maybe more different activities we could do. Like, we have Spleef. Spleef was good, but no one plays Spleef if there's no one on the server, which you need by the maps. So, I don't know, I think everything, if you add everything up, it'll bring everyone back.
If,
I think...
Go ahead.
I think that as far as current maps go, we can, like, at any point we can probably just retire new PvP. It's not really doing anything other than being a nostalgia fact occasionally used for an event or two and confusing new players, but aside from that, it can probably just be retired right now.
If
Yeah.
you don't mind me asking, Soccer, could you explain what Skyblock is exactly?
Okay, Skyblock, from what I understand, I've never played it, but I mean, I've watched people play it. You basically, I don't know the exact dimensions, but you're on a skyblock. It's like 3x3 dirt. You have a tree, and you have a water
chest.
bucket. Yeah, you have a chest, water bucket, all this stuff.
Some grass.
And you have like a lava bucket, you have water, and you can expand. You can expand by, you cut down the tree will fall, and then you can start growing an orchard. From that, it just expands, so you can make a cobble generator. Eventually, then monsters will start spawning on it, and you have to like defend and whatever. But like, it's a sense of single player progression. I know there's lots of plugins out there for it that we could easily implement on the server, and I'm not sure how much space it would take up. I mean, I know we have a lot of space and RAM available, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And it's really not that resource intensive, to my understanding.
You said it was a single player focus sort of thing. How would that work in context of the server if we had multiple people playing? Would it be different skyblocks for each person?
I've seen it done on a server where basically you're all in a giant like big area, and you're more or less in like your own area, and you're about 100 to 200 blocks away from everyone else, and you're just in general like making to survive, and you can go on other people's areas. But I wouldn't like that. I would rather have it so you're like in your own little dome and something like that. Like,
you can definitely, as I think Nerb, you can invite people to your island too. So if you don't want to go about the single player, like you can just do it on single player. If you want to play by yourself, you can invite other people there. And that's the thing is, I know everyone knows Wadey sort of split off. He made his own server. He had this plugin called Plot Me, and they had your own plots, and servers still have it now. You get your own plot of land, and you have your house. Like, it's sort of like creative, but it's sort of like a self-staffed creative mode. You have like a 20 by 20 plot of land, and outside of that you can't build, but you can see what other people are building. So I think that's also another thing that we could do. Like, there's so many plugins out there that we could just expand to. Skyblock and the Plot Me being one of them, but there's so many more that it would work.
So this is JHC, in case I didn't mention that earlier. But it sounds like there's a fair amount of interest in Minecraft still, just taking another look at what we can do to make vanilla a little more interesting.
You see,
is that fair?
In my opinion, I wouldn't play Minecraft simply because it feels lonely. If I think what attracts me to Minecraft, it would be when back in Old World we had Phoenix Islands or the other shrine, whatever the name was. There were just people all around you and they would play with you. And now people are just splitting off and you feel lonely even in a multiplayer world.
A lot of people are afraid that these people are going to grief whatever they've created these days, though. That's, I think, might be part of the problem.
I think that a lot of people jump from server to server a lot more quickly as well. We get a lot of young players who come on, and they'll come on for a couple of weeks, and then they've moved on. And I think that's just the nature of how people are playing, because there's so many more server choices than there used to be. And we need to keep that in mind, that we need to draw people and find ways to retain them. And part of that might be with mini games, but part of that might be by offering something bigger that will keep people for longer, whatever that may be that we might want to look at. Because our strength is our community. And so if we can get people to come back to the community, it's exactly what Vidox is saying, having people around you to play with. I think that's just something to keep in mind.
I've got a question for Tyre. Is there any chance you could update your world generator for the current version of Minecraft?
Yeah, it just takes a while to add new stuff to it.
Because that was one of the things I liked the best about old PvP, I guess, was that it was just a crazy map that you couldn't find anywhere else.
Yeah, it would be a lot less unique now, though, because even if you've seen the updates for 1.8 Minecraft, they have the whole thing to where you can kind of customize it by default.
To go back to
go ahead, Guitar. Sorry.
Oh, well, to go back to the point about people moving away out of fear of griefing and stuff, I know this is what we're going to discuss later on with the staffing and stuff, but I'm not saying the staff aren't doing their jobs on the build server, because they're doing a wonderful job at dealing with grief and all that. But I think we need something else to give people some sort of they feel safe to build closer to spawn and stuff without having to move really far out in fear of being griefed.
I think people have asked about that. They've asked for residents or something similar for the, regular players or something, perhaps, so they can not have to worry.
Yeah, that's something that build should have.
What does the regular status actually get players? I'm confused.
At this point, not much. Building on creative and regular chat. And I'm actually going to speak for Red at this point because he's not here. And he asked me to bring up a point that's come up a couple of times, in that he would love to see a new, and this might fall under staffing more, a new status set for all of us who've been around for long enough to either veteran or something that would actually get you more than Reg does. To acknowledge and to...
Yeah, but what is that though? What would we?
Well, we'd have to brainstorm that.
That's effectively what moderator is now, right?
Yeah, it is. But so I mean, which we could do is bump a whole bunch of people up to mod. That may fall under staffing. It's just a point that's come up a lot because we have so many people frustrated because they get passed over for staff and they don't have, and they've been around for a long, long time, and that is a different discussion. But at the same time, might have something to do with this as well.
Yes, I may just.
Yeah, assign new seasoned people is kind of what we're talking about.
Whims, we're gonna hammer down on that in a couple minutes.
Perfect, thanks.
If I may, just a suggestion. I was mulling over an idea that I've been tossing around here and there. It's kind of like similar to what Whimsy said. I was thinking of an idea, kind of like a community defender type title, and basically they don't have access to the block logs, but they do have access to, let's say, a 24 to 72 hour ban. If somebody's completely out of control, just spamming chat, and if nobody else is on, the community defenders can go ahead and place the ban and inform the other staff.
Kind of like a community watch or something.
Yeah, community defender.
Maybe a vote. This would get hard, but like a vote kick, so it wouldn't be easily abused. I don't know what that would be necessarily, because the numbers would be hard to pick.
Vote kicks are hard to do because you can also get a whole bunch of people on, and then if you have like a town full of your friends, then they're all just going to vote against it, and you're never going to get kicked.
Yeah, I agree.
I suggest giving powers to people is a good idea, but you should eliminate abuse by only giving it to the trusted ones.
Yeah, that's true.
That does work, actually.
Even
yeah.
the trusted people can be biased sometimes.
Oh god, yeah.
If it becomes a problem, you can always
Especially on
revoke
PvP.
it.
I mean, keep in mind we just banned Dan OTF, so.
What's OTF?
Well, the community defender would kind of be the linking bridge between becoming staff in the future. It's more of a trial by fire type of thing.
Oh, okay. The staff talk. I'm noting all this stuff about the staff talk. I want to head back to Minecraft for just a second.
Sorry for derailing.
No, that was perfect. That's actually good. Spazzy, actually, let me get you involved here because you were talking about
what?
The reference to Dan OTF was he's the one that actually designed the front of our site, and now he's banned for block abuse. So
that's a shame.
Meaning, who knows who you can trust. Spazzy, you were talking about multi-world, and the reason I bring this up is I don't know much about, I guess, the technology behind it, because I know Tier's old, the node system or whatever. But in terms of having some sort of umbrella multi-world setup for, because all I'm hearing right now is aside from the new PvP, the new PvP plugin set, which will set us apart, all I'm hearing is a lot of these mini games are what's really popular. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Seems to be the case.
And the mod pack version.
Silver Forte says yes.
Okay, cool. So, Spaz, can you talk a little bit more about the multi-world setup? Is that
Oh, well, any of the guys of us that do, or know anything about Bucket, Tier, and Imbalo, and I'm sure some of you other guys have messed around with Bucket plugins in the past. It has a built-in multi-world function that you can just essentially generate as many maps on the one server as you want and switch between them pretty much seamlessly. With that, depending on how things like the minigames were implemented, you could have as many worlds as you need. Minigames. Same with like that sky block thing you mentioned earlier. You could essentially generate a world for every player, of which they could teleport to each other's worlds if they wished, and back again. You could block people from accessing it, limited to friends, things like that. That could be one implementation of it. I don't know the overhead for these worlds. Tiramite, do you, Ted? What's the overheads for these the built-in multi-world? If he's listening. Okay, anyway. I can't imagine it'd be that much. I've tested it out with a few, and I haven't noticed it being any different, but it could be an issue when you get dozens of people in multiple worlds, because every chunk that's loaded uses more RAM. And Sid, do you know the overhead for the bucket multi-world thing if you start adding dozens or whatever?
We've got the hardware to handle way more players than we have right now, so.
Cool. So yeah, like
Considering
that could be one
now
implementation.
we have 5.
Our 5 players.
All right. So what does everyone think about a multi-world setup where you have one login and then you can go to these different games within it, or would you want to advertise them? And I'm bringing in advertising at this point to like advertise them separate. Like, this is our Skyblock world. This is a resource control world. You know.
I'm down with that.
Silver said in chat.
It's more.
Silver said in chat, if we're talking about having multiple nodes, can we talk about how having a hub can be a barrier if done wrong? Because he's seen many people join and then log in, ask where to go, and then leave.
I think that was more with the old hub system, though. Like, the new hub that Axon designed is pretty efficient for just going like, oh, there's the PvP, there's the build, there's the creative.
I agree. I think that when people ask... Sorry, go ahead.
There might be a problem right now because people seem to land on PvP instead of the hub. New people do.
That would be a big problem, because
There's a
PvP
problem.
is dead.
Yep.
So
also,
the problem is people are landing directly into PvP and not the hub.
Yes.
And if they land in a hub, they sometimes end up on the class blocks beneath it. So something is wrong there.
Then something that the chat's talking about is our current multi-world plugin custom.
The node one is, yeah.
Okay. Because I'm all for custom plugins, but I know we've had this one for a while, and I don't know how updated it is.
Well, the nodes aren't so it's not so much it's not so much a multi-world plugin, it's a multi-server plugin.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, we're essentially running, well, not essentially, we are running 3 different Minecraft servers that are all talking to each other, and that's how, I think Tyr can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how we sort of overcame the overhead in having Minecraft being single thread. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's still an issue, right? It only supports the single thread.
Yeah. That just kind of limits how many players you can have on one server at a time, which isn't really an issue right now, but hopefully will be again someday.
Do you know what the limit of players is for a single server at the moment before you start noticing an issue?
It really depends on the hardware we're running, what kind of CPU, which I don't really know right now.
Alright, so we're talking, what I'm hearing is multi-world, having multi-world. So if we have one server that's running multiple worlds, we're going to get player limits, essentially.
But I know we hope to have that kind of population, but are we ever going to need to worry about that?
Well, that's true. Is the multi-world, that'd be a lot simpler setup, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and a lot less of a pain to like with the nodes. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to set one up. You can't just go add new world. You got to go through the process. You got to set up the server. You got to configure everything. I know you can just copy it and whatever, but and then you got Tier, who's the only one who can do the updates, maintenance of it, because he's the only one that really knows this inside and out. None of us do.
I kind of tried and failed at documenting everything, but yeah, it's kind of flexible. You can have multiple servers and still the built-in multiple world thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question while we're talking about nodes? What's up with the tier Nodia thing? Like, that's been something that no one really understands, and it's just like 100 players and spamming the server.
It's very deceiving to new players.
It confuses people a lot.
Oh yeah.
Totally was
I
not.
love it.
Totally was not an underhanded attempt at making this look attractive to new players. Nope. Nope.
Well, it works in a way, but not in the long run.
When everyone realizes there's only one or two people actually talking.
It works for the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think we have a consensus on multi-world versus multi-server yet. Here's the thought: if we're gonna have more people involved in hardware and maybe staffing on the upper levels, then we may want a simpler setup for them for maintenance and stuff.
Can we? I don't know if it's a thing. If we're going to be dropping, well, not dropping, but I know the biggest advantage to the nodes is allowing one IP and one port to connect to all our servers, not having to have one port for build, one port for PvP like we used to have.
I've actually been on a server recently that it has a whole bunch of worlds and a hub, but it uses the multi-world plugin.
I think the one reason why we didn't pick multi-world rather than nodes in the first place is some of the plugins we used don't support multi-world configurations, and they don't allow for multiple plugins. Like with the node system, we allow for separate groups of plugins for each server, which means build could have some and not others. PvP could have something you didn't want on. Like, for example, some of the plugins that I made, which either irritated or entertained some people in the past, were fine to have on build, but they were game breaking on PvP. So that was one of the advantages to the nodes, is that you didn't have to worry about the plugins that didn't support multiple world configurations and weren't just online across the board. Though a lot of plugins these days, I think, do have multi-world support, because a lot of servers are going that way these days because they don't have the hardware to run 3 or 4 servers separately, or if they're the ones who are doing who are paying for their server time, they only have the one server they're paying for, so they're only going to have the one. A lot of plugins. We're pretty lucky to have our own hardware that we can run as much or as little as we want on. Yeah, so we can still go either way. If, like Rad said before, I think it was Rad, that if we're going to go for more staffing, we're going to need to simplify things, and whether or not we drop the nose and go straight to multi-world, we keep both, I don't know, it's something we'll have to decide.
Silver said, I think we need to revert to a simpler setup so all of the maintenance doesn't fall on one poor bastard having to be paged to drop what he's doing to come save us. The less difficult it is, the more easily it can be maintained.
I gotta 100% agree with that kind of line of thinking.
What do you guys think?
We've been can't think of the word. We've been what's the word when you're trying to get through a small space, like a little
squeezing?
Bottleneck. Thank you. Yeah, we have a lot of bottlenecks on that kind of stuff. So, and that's historically. That's since we've started. Holy crap.
I like to add in, Sin, you just said, should we entertain the idea of hosting our own IRC server? We could use IRC as a central communication hub with a bot that pipes all chat from Minecraft and perhaps other games into an IRC channel, and chat from the IRC channel piped into the in-game general chat without a pre-pinned exclamation mark message dash like command. Something also would be interesting to have notifications in the IRC channel when someone posts a forum message with a shortened URL linking directly to the post. Excuse me. For example, username, board, link to post. I've seen a bot utilized by another community that performs this nicely. And sorry if I missed any other chat messages.
I'll just throw out there, adding something like an IRC server is going to add an extra layer that I'm not sure the majority of us are want to deal with.
Well, most
it's non-trivial.
Pretty stable though. Like once they're running, they're running. Unlike things like the Starbound server, which is still very, very unstable.
Buggy.
Minecraft's okay these
Sure.
Like our Mumble server, it's normally it's just there. Like very rarely if anyone ever actually have to do anything to the server itself. Web server's the same. Only when tier or whatever changes some of the code behind that anything actually needs to be changed. IRC's been around for 30 years, and the server software is really mature and stable. So once it's up and running, it should just be up and running.
Yeah, I guess what I'm sort of going at is if I'm not sure we need to reinvent the wheel. So if there's something that we don't have to deal with, then I think that's good going forward.
One advantage to our own IRC server is that we wouldn't have to deal with the spam issue.
Splits and spam.
Like sometimes, I don't know, we've had issues where our servers have spammed Dalnet and Dalnet's been like, nope.
Got it.
True.
Sorry, I'm gonna loop us back around real quick to the talk of the servers again. Then we can talk about the individual Minecraft stuff. Is there a consensus, or do we just not know at this point whether the better option would be multi-world versus multi-servers? Just to let everyone know, because I don't know if everyone knows our hardware situation. We have unlimited. We're hosted in a data center, one of the largest, probably the largest data center in the Northeast. We have unlimited bandwidth. It's all fiber, multi-fiber line, like just ridiculous stuff. Hardware is obviously we have to buy the hardware, the servers and stuff, but all the bandwidth and everything, storage is all free. So we can take advantage of it if we need to. It's always been the case. But with that being said, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? To have the multi-server. So
basically, what you're saying is, even though we have the power, we shouldn't just keep multiple things running, even though it's not being used at the time.
Right, like we could use the extra. We could load up a TF2 server with the extra resources. You know what I mean, or something like
that would be awesome.
Like I always wanted to have like a ton of different games, and we'll talk about that soon. But I want to get Minecraft down to what we need. You know what I mean? So I think there's been a lot of access stuff lately. At least that was my feeling, being out of the loop.
Yeah, like Minecraft it's not as popular as it used to be, other than Mojang's bank account speaking differently, but still.
Oh, I would be interested to see of how much of Mojang's bank account is people buying second and third accounts because they got banned from everywhere.
There's a ton of kids playing. We just don't have that group on our server for the most part. I mean, we have some younger ones, but pretty much, because I work with kids, pretty much every kid I work with plays. A lot of them don't play on servers though. But we're talking 7 to 10-year-olds who play
I don't think any of
constantly.
us would have the patience for that.
Exactly. No, I don't think so. But we can't say that it's not a viable game anymore. It's just not necessarily our audience, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree as well. I'm not saying Twitch is based on how good or successful the game is, but like you look at Twitch, Minecraft is consistently in the top, and you look at it, and you look at like YouTube. Still, people make a ton of YouTube videos about it. There's servers like you have a full set of Diamond Armor, you just go out there. Those servers hold like 400 people at a time. Like the fact. I think our demographic of Rawcritics, I think that sense of Minecraft is not popular. I still think Minecraft is very popular, if not as popular as it was when we started up. I think there's definitely a lot of people who play it.
So we need to find our little niche again.
Yeah,
totally.
We need to figure out not necessarily what everyone else is doing, but what people want to play. And then expand from there.
I agree.
After what he was going to say was, I hate to say, I've been finding myself playing a certain other game a lot. I don't want to advertise for other games here, but basically I've been playing a zombie game where it's humans versus zombies. You kill a human, they get turned into a zombie. Rounds last somewhere like 400 seconds. And then, there's predefined maps. They're very small. But
Is that a Minecraft minigame?
You can say that, yeah. I've been playing that a lot lately, I hate to say. Whenever I get frustrated and just want to beat the crap out of somebody.
Didn't we play that with like Veranos and Money like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That was fun.
It is a good mini game.
So again, this is another one of those instances where this is a mini game we might be able to support with 6 or 7 or 8
for
other.
Minecraft would be pretty fun as well.
Yeah, like just bring like I don't know about like the fun fact, but like we brought Spleef back and we had a ton of like the first few days we had a ton of people. We had tournaments going, we had everything, and then because all we had was Spleef, it sort of just died. You know, like I'm not saying like we should have like a whole server overhaul necessarily, but like maybe like keep build, redo creative.
Sent you the link to what I've been playing randomly. Sorry to interrupt you, Sal.
It's all good. Oh, but yeah, I just think like I don't know. We need to.
I came into this. Sorry.
No, I'm lost. So you can go ahead.
No, I came into this meeting expecting a full server overhaul, like ripping everything apart and just, yeah. So I mean, that's not a bad. I mean, that's what we're after here. So I mean, if we need to rip everything apart, so be it.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about, like, because clearly, like, and like, I really don't want to target you guys when I say this, but like, this is probably the most serious conversation we've had. But like, I feel like every few months, the admins come back and they're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then it sort of dies out because clearly there's a loss of interest, not just with you guys, but like everybody. So I think like, as you said, we're going to put people in higher powers who want the higher power and all this stuff. But from there, when we expand, we need more people who can carry out things. Like at the moment right now is just, I feel like Nimbolo, because if you guys lost interest, that's fine, but more people need to be able to help Nimbolo. I feel like Whimsy helps Nimbolo a lot, but a lot of us are sort of restricted because maybe we don't want to beta test or something like that. I know there's a lot of members in the community that want to help, but it's just the plugin is so closed off right now, you know?
What if we set up, like, this goes along back to the rank of the community veteran and stuff like that. What if we set up so that people who were higher ups, like the community watch veterans, stuff like that, who could help to beta test new plugins and build on new maps and stuff like that?
Well, that's happened this time because the map is completely built. We went to some community members and some staff did it. The map is done. We're waiting for the plugin now. And the map's gorgeous. You guys are going to love it, I think. But and he's hoping to open it to beta. He's just got staff right now that he wants to work on it. for the first week or so, just because he's not around. And then he's going to open it up to more players next week, I think, or the week after. But when he gets back, that's his plan.
And that's fair because I mean, it obviously wants to work out the bugs and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's like in terms of beta testing, where that'd be great. We'd have more people on deployment and be stable for a launch. That'd be awesome. But then there's stuff like, I feel like the Anarchy server. Everyone feels like Nimbolo is probably the only person that they could go to put the server on, without perhaps like annoying you guys or something like that. Like, I see you guys on Steam all the time playing other games. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't message them asking them to do something because I don't want to interrupt your guys' games, because I wouldn't want to be interrupted if I was in your situation. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, maybe it works for some people, but I don't know. I feel like if more people were able to perhaps execute that and they know how to, then maybe it would, help, I guess.
No, you got that is the number one probably takeaway we're going to come out of this meeting. That's the number one thing we're going to decide before we leave this. How to get people there and how to actually get someone there, that's going to do it. You know what I mean? Because most of us are not reliable right now. So we need reliability. Okay. Let me pose a question. It's kind of a broad, sweeping question. If we had this PvP set, would you guys still want other Minecraft options, or would you want this to be our niche?
I'd want some other options, just like mini games, so you could go and do some random stuff and blow off some steam if you're kind of mad in PvP or something like that.
Yeah, minigames will provide like a really good catch for new players as well, and I think if we want to continue to grow the community going forward, minigames it's a very good option in my opinion.
I've noticed a lot of people don't seem to like more spontaneous minigame events.
Like I said, the one that's caught my eye, and I've been playing them for a long time, is the ones I linked to the admins. I forgot to link it to JHC. That one has caught my attention. I've just gone back to just beat people's faces on.
Can we go through the more popular mini games you guys would consider?
First glance, I say Skyblock, Hunger Games, the zombie survival thing that Invineron mentioned. That's actually popular. I've seen it on a bunch of servers.
You see paintball and Pictionary a lot too.
What's the first one?
Paintball. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Did you say Pictionary?
Yeah, it's actually super fun.
Sorry, how does that work in Minecraft?
No idea how it works.
I'm guessing they build stuff instead of blocks.
They do. It's fun.
Okay, so I have Skyblock, Resource Control. Wait, was Resource Control a serious one? I forgot who said that.
Well, it's a resource.
I never asked you guys. Do you guys remember when I made that?
Yeah,
I do remember it, but I don't.
Where's that in terms of development, though?
I've still got the code. It was still where it was at. There wasn't much left to do on it. If that's something you guys want to draw back.
All right,
that was actually pretty fun.
That's something we could add in at any time, though. So that's good. Okay. And that would be like, okay, well, introducing Resource Control, brought to you by Rawcritics.
Yeah.
What if we had so there's some of the ones that only last around like Hunger Games or the zombie survival thing. Invineron said there's some more Resource Control. What if we had one where it rotate server where it rotated every round, you voted on which one you wanted to play next?
Like it's one server, but people are actually voting on the minigame to play?
Yeah.
I think that'd make more sense, because having a bunch of minigames and a bunch of people, I think a bunch of people would want to play a bunch of different minigames rather than all the same one conveniently, and they wouldn't as kind as people are, they're unlikely to take turns going to different minigames and then waiting to get back to theirs. They'll just play their minigame with however many people they can get.
How about we change it daily?
Is that something? Have any of you guys ever seen that done on a server before?
I have.
What I typically find that the servers do is it's like a server with a bunch of teleportation things to other maps, and they just have like 5 of one minigame, 5 of another, 5 another, whatever. And then they have like a thing set up where it shows how many people are in certain ones, and it's a whole thing. But if we're starting out with minigames, I think what would make the most sense is have like 1 or 2, and then vote on which one like the people want to play next. And then if like we blow up and it gets huge, then suddenly we have like 50 people wanting to play like different things, and we can set up something else. But initially, I think the voting would be the best.
So this would eliminate the need for a multi-world setup. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah.
Technically, we might still have to have the multi-world setup. We just switch between them instead of having to reinitiate a new one every time the vote came up.
Got it. Okay, so there's probably a plugin or something that handles the actual voting and switching of the servers, I'm assuming. It's a cool idea, actually. That's a good solution to this.
It is. We're going to need definite staff stuff, which we will get to, I know. But the more stuff like that we have, the more we're going to need to be organized better.
Yeah, Ware just made a good point. I think anybody said the walls. I know when Shadowhawk streamed, he played the walls, not almost exclusively, but he played it a majority of the time, and that's a huge plugin as well.
What's the name of that one?
The walls.
Is that where the 4 walls are up?
Yeah, and then they fall down after like 10 minutes or something like that.
And all hell breaks loose?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds interesting.
Teams of 4.
That adventure map thing also kind of fell out of the grid after a while.
Those are kind of fun, though.
They are.
So,
like, if you could get a good party together and do some mini games, they're actually a lot of fun.
So, okay, there seems to be a lot of interest. So, like, literally, as Sinu said, a roulette, basically a server roulette of mini games.
Mario Party Minecraft Edition is a pretty good explanation, too.
Yes, that actually works very well.
Huh.
Oh, then we can have like community leaderboards for various games and things like that.
Huh.
Yeah, leaderboards would be a cool thing. That actually make people like... That's a form of progression and could be more to make people go like, I'm going to be at the top. I'm 5th, but I'm going to beat that punk at the top.
Oh yeah, if we're talking about retention, then leaderboards and stuff to work towards it's people love that, so...
It's like what Silver was talking about earlier, how you have a goal and you work towards it. If there's a leaderboard, people will just impulsively work towards the top.
And if we're talking about leaderboards, maybe once you get to a certain point in these minigames, wins or whatever, you could get some unique forum title for everyone who gets to that point.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that could be something to work towards.
Maybe
it
have
could be
like
dynamic. It could be current FTB champion, current Spleef champion.
And then I give free shit away to I give free stuff away to the top people after every month or something.
Yeah, it works.
I think that would definitely encourage activity on the minigames. Those
I'd agree.
Whatever happened to the adventure maps?
Everybody wants stuff.
I understand they are hard to set up because they had to be reset every time, but isn't there a way?
Well, maybe the Anarchy map is a temporary placeholder for the positioning of the... I don't know how popular adventure maps would be.
The issue I see with adventure maps is it doesn't, like, in my opinion, we need something that promotes community. So PvP has, like, a lot of, like, player engagement, obviously, because PvP, and minigames has a lot of player engagement, because it's technically still PvP. Adventure is just kind of, you can do it on your own, and I don't think that really supports what we're going
bring
for.
in groups of 3 or 4 people, and then they do it once, and there's no draw to do it again.
Exactly, that's the issue.
Like if we could have a weekly change, then people may do that more, but other than that, it's not really, there's no draw with adventure maps.
That requires someone to weekly update as well, though, which might be.
Yeah.
I would love to see another UHC as well, because we've had fun with that.
That one was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
Sorry, what's UHC?
Ultra hardcore. The that was fun.
We had a ton of people playing, and it was hysterically awesome.
That sounds deadly.
How long ago was that?
Nerb mentions.
That was like a month and a half.
Nerb mentions ultra hardcore One Life. There's one of the Feed the Beast pack, or one of the packs from a third-party Feed the Beast pack is called Agrarian Skies, and it's basically a skyblock map, and it integrates a newer mod that offers quest lines. You start out with one life, and some of the quest lines give you another life. So when you run out of all your lives, you're banned. But anyway, so the quest mod is something that's fairly interesting.
Wasn't Shotgun playing this lately? Maybe he has something to say about it. The Recurring Skies.
Can I just quickly ask a question? Did we already go over games that could be implemented into Rawcritics, or are we getting to that later?
Not yet. We're still on Minecraft.
Okay.
Okay, so I have so I'm just trying to get a big picture for this roulette system. So we're talking, you log on, right? You're in some sort of hub, and maybe there's like 5 different portals in front of you. Each of those portals is basically a voting roulette system for mini games, right? So you don't have to go into one everyone else does. You can go into like number 2. Is that what I'm hearing?
You could just go into the hub and then /vote, and then /vote Hunger Games, and then it puts in a vote for Hunger Games, and then at the end of the round or something like that, it tallies up the votes, and then whichever game mode has the most votes, that's what you play.
So we're talking about a hub though. We're not talking about you log in and you're everyone's in one roulette system.
That's an implementation question that probably isn't going to be valuable to discuss at this meeting.
Yeah.
Trying to get a picture of how it would work. Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, so for Minecraft, I think there's a lot of interest around the voting roulette system. There's an Anarchy map already up, Spazzy said, so that's done. Took 2 years,
Yep.
whatever. All right,
25572.
Sounds like there's really, really cool stuff on the horizon with Nimbalo's plugin, PvP plugin set.
Bradley, can I just cut in? Were the People USA just said yes, but I think there should also be some games like Hunger Games and Walls, which are bigger and more popular, that will never change. And there should also be a voting system for the smaller mini games.
I think that makes sense.
Okay, hold on. Let me adjust this then.
Yeah, to keep like the smaller sort of mini games on rotation, and then the bigger ones, like the ones you mentioned, the Hunger Games, the Walls, just keep those like there regularly.
What are the big ones? Skyblock?
Skyblock isn't like a mini game. It'd be like
Skyblock,
a
you can't
separate
rotate
server-ish.
Yep. That would be Hunger Games, the Walls. I think that would be it, actually. The rest of them you can probably easily rotate through.
I have Ultra Hardcore, I have Spleef, Zombie Survival, Pictionary, Paintball, Resource Control.
Ultra Hardcore would also have to be one that's permanent up then, because you can't there's no way to really end a round with that efficiently.
Yeah, probably just last 3, you said, I'd imagine.
I'm thinking of Ultra Hardcore as less of like something that's always up and more of like an event that's initiated with a certain time and stuff. That way you get a lot of people in there consistently.
I would agree.
Like for the event instead of it being drawn out over like 2 or 3 days, and
yeah, that sounds good.
People can just leave and come back.
To answer your question, I think they're just saying they're interested. It's just Skyblock's going to have its own permanent map. It's not going to be on rotation.
Mine Z was mentioned.
Grand Theft Auto and Minecraft. There are a couple plugins that do something similar.
That's pretty cool. Grand Theft
ridiculous.
Minecart. JC, I want your minecart. I'm gonna come and take it from you with my wooden sword. Get out, or I'll use it on you.
Okay, so how does everyone feel about what we're talking about with Minecraft so far? So in the end, I'm seeing a PvP map and a minigame map or minigame server multi-world.
But we'd still be keeping creative and build.
Well, I guess that's what we talk about next.
I think we should keep build, maybe. I don't know about resetting creative, because I know a lot of people have builds on there.
How often does creative actually get used is the question I would ask.
It gets used a lot by people who are planning things for other maps.
I always use it.
Creative isn't, like, it's not necessarily a necessity, but it's a really, really nice luxury. Like, it's not something that people go on, like, today I'm going to play creative, but it's something people more use for, like, I have an idea, too creative type thing, rather than an actual playing map. It's more of just, like, a utility map, which is really nice to have.
But that also keeps people as part of the community, like they're still in chat rather than going to a single player map, because they could do it, log off and play on their own map, but they're still part of the chat and everything. I find that keeps them still chatting and hanging out and being part of the group.
And I don't think we would ever really need to reset the creative map because of how it is. Like, all of those structures are there, and there's so much more room, and it's good to go and see what's been built to get ideas, or just to look at, like, the pixel art or the redstone and all of that. So resetting it wouldn't really make very much sense, to be honest.
No, it's more of a museum almost in some ways of what RC has been all along.
And there's not a lot of resource usage on it, so that's good. Okay, so I think we keep creative. And I heard you want to keep it as part of whatever bigger map, meaning that would be part of the minigame server or the PvP. Maybe it's like a part of the PvP server.
I'd put it on the PvP server.
Okay.
Whatever build and PvP are connected to, it should probably be connected to that, because that's probably where people are going to and from it for.
Alright, so build. So we're on the same page. I heard there wasn't a lot of interest in the current PvP map.
It's been dead for a while, I think.
Alright, so
it only lasts for about, I'd say, 6 months, and then it dies off pretty quickly after that, and then it never gets used.
It lasts until someone announces a new one. And they were as someone who's so stubborn about keeping old PvP maps to the point where I was the only one voting against getting a new one for this, playing it to the end. People were there, very few people, but there were still people there until the new one's announced. When the new one's announced, then the old one just dies instantly.
Okay.
And really instantly.
Alright, so Axe hold PvP, but we'll have a download link for it. Okay.
Cool. And can it be like a fast download link, not like the last one that took like almost a year?
I actually don't even know where the last one was hosted.
I think it was just the torrent. Yeah.
Yeah, Tier put up the torrent, but was there another download other than that?
There was, yeah. It was linked in the original thread.
Build map.
As for build, I suggest making a new one, but before we get to that, we'd have to tackle the problem of people not feeling safe about building.
I think
I think if we're going to be changing so many other things, build is fine the way it is for the time being, because everyone's going to go over to PvP. I think switching everything at once would kind of be counterintuitive, because we're going to have people surging to a new map, and build is still a comfort place for a lot of people, but I do think we need to add protections for the people who are playing there. And a lot of the kids who join are playing there, a lot of the 9-10-year-olds, and I don't know if they're going to come over to PvP. It's good for them to have a place. I think that if we can train them in the way of Rawcritics, we have a good part of our future player base right there, and we'll hold on to that.
14 Nickel says he misses /res on the build world.
So, Wims, you're suggesting stability amidst some of the other chaos might be beneficial?
I am suggesting that.
I agree with her.
Yeah, I think build kind of is a good... It's a good anchor.
For the time being, I think that at some point we're going to want to reset, but maybe when people are starting to get weary of other things, it would be better to look at resetting build then. So we're rotating when we're resetting the bigger maps, rather than doing them all at once.
Alright, can Can we
There's a
run?
lot of text here.
I want to hammer down. So I'm hearing keep the build map, but we need some changes to it to cater to some things. So I need those changes. I'm going to document those, and that might be in the text you're reading.
Res. Something I'm seeing is bring /res back.
That'd be good.
That's
easy.
Is there a way to do it without the monetary cost, though? I don't know, like put a limit on how much you can conquer, I guess, but without having to pay every day.
Are you talking build or PvP?
Build. Oh no, if you don't have to pay on PvP, there's a real problem.
Yeah, you can set res cost to 0. Nicole says. I mean, we're not looking to screw anyone over on build, right?
No. A lot of people have a lot of money on build anyhow because it's not that much to buy.
Okay,
And the shops work a bit, but people mostly buy warps and that's about all.
Maybe have like just an initial cost for protecting something on build. Just it's not someone can join up, have 50 crits, and then just protect like 500 chunks worth of things.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. Set a limit as to how many chunks can be protected at once.
That makes sense.
Or perhaps just use it as a money sink. Like, maybe do chunks again, just maybe like Townie, except it's residence. I don't know how it works, but...
That's all very customizable, and that's implementation details that we could worry about later. The important thing is, yeah, residence is probably a good option for build.
You're a nice little sidekick, Bev. So some minor changes to build, and then we'll keep that. So keep creative, keep build, get rid of PvP with the download. Build is still a comfort zone for a lot of people. Creative doesn't have a lot of resources. So in the end, we're looking at supporting, and I'm going to bring it back because I'm going to segue into staff now. We're looking for Minecraft alone. We're looking into supporting a mini games server, a PvP server, a creative map server, and a build server. At the very minimum.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds
okay.
Seems reasonable.
Alright. That gives a lot of choice for people. Okay, so let's talk about staff. Now we're talking about, there was a general consensus we need to have different staffing solutions for various games, but let me bring up the question of, do we need to have different staffing solutions for different Minecraft servers?
I'd think so. Just like you wouldn't want to have like I'd say you should probably get a few. I don't know. You wouldn't even have to get like you can keep all the ops and admins the same, but add some mods for the minigame servers, just so that everybody isn't hopping around all the time.
Okay, so mods vary from game to game. Well, do they need to vary from game to game, or we just make sure we have a good sort between the games?
I'd say you just have like, I don't know, 10 mods for mini games, and then that's it. You wouldn't need too many staff for mini games, I think.
All right, let's talk about how someone gets to be a mod.
Great question.
Sorry, I've never actually understood this process. How do you get to be a mod now?
Be awesome.
Right now, it's a recommendation system. So someone in staff, there's a need, or sorry, let me back up. Someone stands out. They gain the attention of a current staff who makes a recommendation, and then they kind of vote on it. There's no active. It's as needed. It's not on an active basis. It's not. So a lot of people, as you said, are very much getting left out.
Let's start at the top for transparency's sake. How does the whole staff thing work? There are different staff levels and there's staff forums, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
There's a staff forum, there's an admin forum, there's an op forum, there's a mod forum, which is everyone has permissions, obviously, to whatever they're in. So if there's hardware talk and we're sharing hardware secrets, we're obviously not going to give mods access to that. So not hardware secrets, but like logins and stuff. But that's strict. That's it. There's admins, ops, and all staff.
Okay.
So do we even need that? You know what I mean? Do we need 3 levels? And is there enough to be with 2? Is there more people interested in the hardware side of stuff that we can trust? Obviously, where there's a level of trust that has to be there for the hardware.
What's the difference between mod and op at the moment? Besides the different forums they can access.
World edit.
There's a few more permissions that ops get.
Yeah, ops get access to a lot more tools, whereas mods have the general base stuff of mute, ban, kick,
blog access.
Yeah, teleport to, but they can't teleport anyone to them, I think.
Yeah, beyond in-game tools, we sort of look to the ops to be stronger leaders within the community. The mods in a way are kind of the police, and if a mod has a question, we want them to be able to look to somebody else with some sort of leadership quality, some sort of guidance.
Except we're not
I'd like
available.
to add, someone actually mentioned seasonal players. What about getting rid of mods, just keeping it like admins and ops and seasonal players?
So what do you do with all the current mods?
That's a problem.
Well, we can safely say who we know is active and not active. Is that a true statement?
I think for the most part.
We can make reasonable guesses, yeah.
And if we do demote them, they can always complain and we can just fix it.
Yeah, that's easy enough.
And I might also add, I worked as a web hoster for the last 10 years. I could offer some help there.
On what in particular? Sorry.
A web hoster, like doing servers and stuff. I'm not good with HTML and all the stuff. That's not my thing, but I'm very good at the back end.
You're an IT guy?
Yeah.
Oh, there's plenty of us that know web stuff though, so that's all like HTML and programming and all that shit.
Well, I can read code, I can alter code, but I'm also not a coder. I'm more like an admin. That's actually exactly what I do.
Can you restart a server?
How hard is that? Isn't there just a button that you press to restart it?
All our shit's done through SSH.
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated when you have to do it remotely.
I would like a big fancy button though, if we can look into that.
I know
it's in the mail tier.
You can code a big fancy stop and then restart button. It is possible.
And yeah, I know enough Perl to make a button to restart a server, so that's not a problem.
Can we get a physical button that we all have?
Yeah, just put it on your desk and you just press it, reboot, done.
So I'm actually curious. Does anyone else have an interest or experience with kind of the back end crap?
Specifically Linux.
I'd be interested in that. I'd be
interested in helping, but I don't have any experience with it.
I'm a software developer by trade.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I was Linux admin last 10 years, so I probably can help there.
Cool. Alright, I got you on the list here. I'm
pretty useless.
You're a crit.
That's good to know.
Yeah, hit me up, man, with any jobs.
So there's a Silver made a mention here. You don't need to segregate your staff. It's like 50 lines up now. And on that point, I want to ask: is there even a need for a separation? So we're always going to have the back end guys, right? And they're going to do their thing. And traditionally, I think it's been a lot of the admin so far.
I think there is slightly a need for some staff discussions to be segregated. Like I know there's the staff had posts on the ban appeals and stuff to talk about that, which is important. But I don't know if there needs to be a lot of staff separation.
I don't know that there is a lot of the time. Staff aren't communicating all that much right now anyhow, in all honesty. Like, there is some, but there's not a whole lot going on. So it may appear to be more segregation than there actually is.
What are some of the things that we use for the staff forums for? Maybe not specifically necessarily, but what can we share that is usually in the staff forums?
Right now, it's been a lot of PvP, new PvP map talk, and the drafts for the community updates go on there. And there's not been a whole lot else that I can think of off the top of my head that's actually been on there.
So maybe we want to consider making those while we're working on them.
I'm sorry. Making those what?
Open to everyone.
Meaning take it out of staff and let the community on the talk and stuff like that.
Yeah, like make a note. This community update is in beta right now. We're not certain of any of it just yet, but this is what we think is going to go in it.
Sino is saying you could also make it open to the seasoned players as opposed to just everybody, because I don't know if you'd want like completely random new people just seeing all the stuff that's completely going on, like the back end stuff.
They're already going to get I mean, I don't see a reason to not show it to them, other than it's maybe more than they want, but they'll just click away then, right?
I mean, at the moment, there isn't really anything that the players don't see. Like the community updates, Winty posted there to like look for grammatical errors and anything he needs to fix.
It goes up within 12 hours of being posted on there.
It's not anything private. I know for PvP and all that stuff, there is some secret stuff because we have seen a bit more of what the map is going to look like and how everything's going in, because we want to perhaps not keep it all hidden, but when we show you, we want it to be polished and look nice. Staff forums right now, I feel like, is not. It's just like, this is what's going on. If you want to help, do this. And then after everything's polished, then we release it. Like, I know a lot of the information that we learn in staff forums is oftentimes posted to public. So.
And very quickly, usually. I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of not getting bogged down by tons and tons of people. If we can get the preliminary sorted, it goes up onto the other page pretty quickly then, anyhow.
And that was like for the Dan OTF ban. There wasn't really much known about why he got banned, so we made a post like, this guy's a veteran, why did he get banned? And then we cleared it up. So that's not necessarily something the community needs to know. I mean, they could know, like, it's really not that groundbreaking if they don't know. It's not like we're keeping it a secret so you guys don't know what's going on. It's just so, hey, we don't need to bring this up front, but why did this happen? And there was definitely a few issues in the past few months that was best time kept hidden because of how drastic it was.
Some of the drama stuff.
So, most of this, I do agree. I feel like everyone should be kept in the loop of what's going on. Like, new PvP, like, right now, Nimblo is working, but you guys basically know as much as we do.
Yeah, if I had more to post, I would. Quite frankly, I posted as many pictures as I could when I was able to. And then he got really busy, and he's doing this plugin on his own, and he has life as well. And so it slowed down. Like, there's really, I just had nothing else to post. If I did, I would, because I've been really working hard at making sure there's as much transparency as possible, which is why I'm trying to share as much as I can, as often as I can.
All right. So let's in terms of segmentation. So we have ops and mods right now. Is there a need for both of those? Let's actually get down to that talk. Or can we handle everything in a fresh new staff role?
I think they could
easily be combined. Yeah.
I'd be a little concerned about the amount of control ops have compared to someone brand new to staff, because there is a lot, and people are really concerned about my learning curve. It caused a huge problem when I got promoted, I realize. And it's not just about the learning curve, but it's about having, I guess, proved your mettle as a mod for a little bit before moving up to op, perhaps.
Yeah.
And having access to so many different commands and so much more. I don't know. That's just me, perhaps.
I've seen around. There's a rank that a lot of servers use called trial mod or trial op. I think changing, I think turning op into mod would be better than going from mod into op. Just because a lot of people log on and they're like, what's an op? You know? I mean, we know what ops are, but like someone who doesn't know what a server operator is, let's be like, what is this? So turn that into a mod and then have a trial mod rank where these people, they're learning how to be a moderator, and then you can transition them into be a full moderator.
I like it. I like the idea of having a public-facing one name, and then we handle, if there is a segmentation on the back end, we handle it there.
Something I was thinking you could have, like, we could combine both into the one rank, like Radley said, but then you could also have, like, training, I don't know, training officers, I guess, who, like, help the new staff members with getting around in the new commands and stuff before you get, like, you just do stuff on your own for a while. Like, you can get some help to learn everything before, so it kind of reduces the learning curve a bit.
This actually would be really helpful, because when I got promoted to op, I still don't know all the commands. Like, I'm still really bad with World Edit. I still had to ask Money, like, yo, this guy isn't being banned, what are alternative commands I can use for this? Like, there's no master command page of up-to-date commands that ops can use, and I'm not sure if there is one for mods either.
There's not really.
So could we put one together?
We do have a wiki.
Does the wiki tell you all the commands?
No.
Can we simplify
but
being defined?
You can find them online, because I've had to do a lot of self-teaching.
Okay, but I mean, so documentation is another thing.
Documentation and then people to help train you, yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing there's favor for get rid of the staffing segmentations. There's we have a staff that is called a moderator, or what?
You know, perhaps we could actually go in a different direction. Maybe having just one type of staff members that are meant to be good at everything, maybe that isn't such a great idea. Perhaps you should have a few types of staff members that will be masters of, like, their type of thing. You know what I mean?
That may
The problem I
make
see with
sense
that-
for specific roles, but not general roles.
Yeah, the problem I see with that on the general worlds is that could confuse new players. So you see some guy with the title mod, you expect him to know everything about mods instead of mod of chat and mod of who the hell
Behavior,
knows.
decorum.
Like it would confuse new players.
How about you call them all mods, but then just have one additional piece after the mods, just a different letter that will indicate. So if there's a problem, staff will react, but then they will be able to redirect the person, or themselves will be able to contact people who are in charge of, let's say, that area.
But what if the people aren't able to be contacted?
Yeah, that's the one problem I had. When
That
I
was always
first,
the problem with staff.
yeah, when I first got brought on, I think within the first few days, Axon got griefed on build, and I really couldn't help him. I could look who did it, but like he lost a ton of diamond blocks and stuff, and I just couldn't do anything about it. So I think that's one con as staff is like you have people who are stuck, but you can't help them because you can't teleport them out. You have people who got severely griefed, and sometimes it's unplayable, but you can't help them until an operator gets on. Now, our operating staff now is very accessible, so it's good. Like, Whimsy is almost consistently always on IRC, so if you need her, you can just say, hey, someone got griefed, and she'll get on when she can. It'll be in a quick period. So, I don't know, I guess that makes sense, like, having your own perfection. Is that what you're trying to say? Like, each person has their own staff.
Specialization.
There you go.
I don't like the idea of having someone that could restart the server not have access to restart the server if no one else that is approved to restart the server isn't on.
Yeah, that gets frustrating sometimes and I don't have that knowledge myself. I worry about promoting people straight up to having complete and full access to everything.
That's the
in all
pre-op
honesty
thing, though, right?
I think we need more ops. I think that some of our mods could probably come up to ops. I don't know that we need to distill it down to 2 different roles, because that might be more confusing, but I do understand that having 3 is causing problems as well.
Well, I mean, the admins, they're kind of their own thing. They're they're not really on as much, so it's really only 2 groups, and then the admins are just occasionally on, really.
Yeah.
Maybe we just need to be more liberal in promoting people higher from mod.
Or you could give more power to the mod.
Or both. I think that mod could have some more powers, definitely. There's somewhere in between. Somewhere between op and where they are right now. Because as a mod, I found the same thing. I was really frustrated a lot of the time, and quite often there weren't people for me to call on, which is one of the reasons I try to be as accessible as I can, because I know how frustrating it is. But yeah.
So I'm hearing we now don't want to combine?
I don't know, I'm just raising that question.
Got it.
I'm
Okay.
putting it out there because we're just throwing stuff out there right now, right?
Julio.
I do see the I see the problem with throwing a lot of the all the power at the new staff, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't been staff.
I definitely think there should be a trial period, because I do agree that if you get thrown world at it, you will have absolutely no idea what you're doing, and oftentimes you'll be like, I wonder what this does, and probably our server can
Blow up
handle
the
it, but
world.
you'll crash it and you'll make the world unplayable for everybody. So I do think trial mod, you get engaged, you're like, this is a kick, this is a temporary ban, this is a perma ban, this is what you have to do when you perma ban someone. And then after they master that, you can promote them further to moderate.
That kind of goes along with the thing I was talking about, having the training guy to go with you and help you with stuff.
That means you need to have enough staff who are actually trained, who are able to do that, who have the time. I seriously think we need more people moved up to a mod that is more powerful, personally, and then have perhaps some people move up to OP who can take on. We're just really slim on staff who play, quite frankly.
But I also think the problem too right now is from what it sounds like, it seems like everybody wants the community to go further. They want more players, they want more people, they want more activity. In that case, we will need more staff. But right now, the staff is completely fine. Like, I'm sure this would be a horrible job, but if Winsy was the sole staff member of Build, because that's all it gives activity, I'm sure she could do it, but it helps that a lot of people are there too. So I definitely think we are overstaffed at the moment because of how little players we get. But if we do really try to expand, then I think that we will need more staff. But at this point in time, I really just don't think there's a need for it.
So I'm also hearing in here that we should take another look at the selection process.
Yeah, well, because I feel like I know there is a ton of people in the community who really want to be staff, and I mean, I felt the exact same way when I was staff. I wanted to be a staff because I don't know. I guess it's like it sort of showed your thankfulness, or not thankfulness, but like appreciation.
You're appreciated as a staff member.
Yeah, for being around so many times. And so I know when I got promoted, I was talking to Red about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been around, for a while, and I just haven't really been like looked upon." And like I know that feeling because I know when other people were promoted, it sort of sucks because like you've been around much longer and you try to help, but then you get overlooked. So I really do think that this seasonal rank or whatever, like the people who've been around, who get appreciated for how long they've been around. Like, you look at people in the chat, like Anubis, he's been around for how long, and he's still, like, I don't want to say not appreciated, but, like, he has no recognition for how long he's been around. You can go down this list and look at anybody.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Red and I were talking about earlier. Because, I mean, gotta tell you, it's been a hell of a lot of dissension between the two of us, with me being staff and him not. And I was picked for different reasons, and I understand, and that's been a community-wide issue, and so I understand that. But he just feels like he doesn't actually really want staff. He wants recognition for being around and something in between. And I think that's true for a lot of players, that you guys have been here forever and have contributed greatly to the community, and something more than just regular status. Veteran, in Vinron's idea of the guard, something would be really... It's overdue, long overdue.
Once someone's been here for 6 months, is there any reason to not give them mute, ban, kick privileges?
For how long?
6 months, or some finite amount of time, assuming they haven't done anything stupid.
Some arbitrary number, and with having not done anything stupid. Yeah, that is actually a good idea.
Frankly,
Yeah, but
there is a reason not to give just everybody kick and ban. I agree with the vote system, but you don't need to give everybody kick and ban.
It is very, very easy to put on a facade for whatever the time period is, and then one day you get angry. And I don't want to call these people out because there's a lot more to the issue. But look at Neon and Goob. Like, they were members for so long, and then after so long, they just exploded because everything was so bottled up. They just exploded. And so,
what actually happened with them? I'm super confused. I never actually got a full story.
I'm sure later on.
Not the time or place.
Yeah, so I don't have to talk about it. Sorry.
But they exploded, and so I really do feel like people need recognition. I think the veteran rank would be awesome. I think it'd be great, but kick or ban privileges may be too extreme for a reason.
Sorry, what if someone actually could be recognized, but they don't actually want to be staff? Is there a way to go a different direction?
See, that's the thing, is I feel like, so for those of you who have been around, would just having a title next to your name in chat be enough for you? Like, what would you guys want? Yeah, see, like, what would you guys want?
The problem with, like, titles, it's a title, whatever. Like, yeah, okay, you just have to be around to get a title. It's not the title as much, it's the fact that, because people don't always respect titles, it's the fact that you want to know that what you're doing is actually helping people and making, like, I don't know, can't think of the word I'm looking for right now. It's making a difference, I guess.
Contributing somehow.
Yeah, and that's what Weedox is saying, though. He's like, where do you draw the line? Like, so Anubis, you sound like you want to help, and you maybe want to help mod, like you want to help keep the server clean. But Weedox, he may want his recognition, but he doesn't want to mod because it's too much work. There's too much, like, on your shoulders. So you got to figure out where to draw the line, and that's where it's hard. And then you're like, oh, well, you can make a mod veteran and a non-mod veteran, but then you have, like, all these rank.
You can talk to the players, because over, I don't know, like, random arbitrary number here, there won't, depending on the number you choose, there won't be as many people.
Or
go
ahead.
May I make a suggestion? Aside from, like, op and mod, like, and the one other one, is there, like, any, like, board that you can get to for being, like, a veteran on the forums or anything? Like, do you...
No.
Yeah,
it used to be, but not anymore, no.
It's still there, it's just not used.
But, like...
I didn't even know it was there.
Well, that's for the... Wasn't that for the donations, or was that something else?
That's right, it was the donations board. There's like...
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of a different one. I'm talking about, like, some kind of proper veteran one, like some where it's, like, a proper private veteran board, so that even when staff want to go for, like, the experienced opinions of the player, like, they ask stuff there. If there's a big veteran concern, they ask stuff there, like, for the more...
Effectively, we use mod levels for that.
Yeah, but, like, for the veteran players, the players who don't want to be mods, or the players who just want recognition without being staff, that kind of thing. That way they know that they're being recognized by getting that opinion and possibly some in-game titles or something. I'm not sure, this is just brainstorming.
If you say you use the mod board for that, then you're completely losing the opinions of a bunch of players. Because there are veteran players who aren't mods and stuff, and then you just lose their opinions completely because they never get asked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's
exactly my
limit.
point.
That's fair.
Perhaps this. So that board would make a ton of sense. But, like, where do you draw the line on how do you get eligible? And I'm sure it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like, you unlock a board. But how about when you get this rank, you can become eligible to apply for a moderator. So you can see who wants to be a moderator and who doesn't want to be a moderator. And then you look at those people when you need moderators and you'd be like, wow, well, this guy wants to help. So maybe we'll ask him to help, you know? So that rank opens up a lot of doors.
But there are people, you can play for months and not even know about the forums. Like, I didn't know about the forums until, like, 6 months after I started playing.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to interrupt here, but going back to the title thing, it could be one perk to the veterans, so to say. They could log in and have a custom title, such and such the artist, or whatever they want would stick out.
Like custom titles, yeah, that would be actually a little bit cooler than
That'd
just
be
like
cool.
this,
I want one of
like
those.
a set title of like if I logged in every time and it was veteran Anubis, it'd be like, yeah, whatever, okay. But if it's a custom title that is actually yours and you get to choose it, that would be a lot cooler.
Anubis Pig Killer or something like that.
The Shadow Anubis or something like that, yeah, like something that you actually choose and is important to you.
If we were to implement that, the player selected titles, there would of course need to be some moderation on those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you wouldn't want profanities in your veterans titles.
or such and such player just put their title as admin and masquerade around as a staff member.
Yeah, clearly that'd be moderated.
No, and it would be a static one. You wouldn't be able to change it every day, right?
Yeah, like
you'd maybe get like one change a month or something like that, but that's it.
Maybe like request a staff change it or something so that it can be approved by someone.
Yeah, that'd be best.
And then I'm unsure.
Problem with that is when you'd have to get a staff online.
PM on the forums. They can just have them like make it so that they don't have to be online when you change it, so that they can just be PM'd on the forum. Next time they log in, just like doop 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 doop. Anubis the Shadow is now Anubis the Cactus Lord.
But
it'd
with
be even better in
1.8
PvP.
1.8 though, I'm unsure of the name changes. I know Tyr is very proficient with the changes because he's updating. What's the deal with custom names in 1.8?
What, like nicknames?
No, like there's like a Minecraft thing where you can change your name. So if I wanted to, WNHS Soccer, I only use it for Rawcritics and Minecraft. That's it. In other places I've known Strat. It's just what I've come. It's my name. I could change my name to Strat, and I could log on the server as Strat. So it's going to be a lot different. So like Anubis, if you wanted to drop your numbers and be Anubis, the Shadow Anubis, I think you can.
What, with this 1.8 changes?
Yeah, but
yeah.
Right now I think Tyr, I want to talk more, is addressing that because we're trying to figure out ways, because it's going to mess up a lot of different things with Lockette and County and perms and stuff. So that's being looked at.
And just recognizing who's who.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to give nicknames and stuff as much because impersonation problems and stuff like that, but yeah.
There would be guidelines, that's fair.
As for titles themselves, I suggest making them just a one-time thing. So staff just asks you, what do you want to be known as? And then they set that title for you, and you can't change it unless it's necessary or unless you really, really want to.
Yeah, that's fine. I really don't think a title should be like something you would change every day. But I don't know. I feel like we should maybe get this ironed out and then look at like the details about it, because like I feel like, especially with 1.8, because who posted a link? Guitar just posted the link. You can read the FAQ there. So Mojang has these numerical codes attributed to your name. So say we banned Anubis and he changed his name to Soccer, impersonating me. He would still be banned under Anubis. He cannot log in under that account.
Oh, so it bans it's no longer the username based ban, it's now the email based ban.
It will go to, there's a user identification number, and it's going to be based on the number rather than on the name, which has been a huge headache and is something that is currently being addressed, I think, but I don't know. But it's going to be, everyone's going to be user number that their account is linked to, and so if you change names. Exactly. However, I think that, Tyr could speak to this would be better.
Yeah, we're kind of looking into, I've got a few ideas on making the whole unique identifier thing a little less unwieldy. Like, say if we made it to where the first time a person logs onto a server, they have to keep that name unless they ask a staff member if they can change it. Then whenever you try to log on with a different name, the server itself can change it to make it look like the name is whatever we want it to be. so we can just have a whole separate kind of system set up for that.
Wait, so you can change your name server side, or is it like just you change your name with Mojang?
With Mojang.
Yeah, but we could have a plugin or something that makes it to where you can change the name just on our server too. Or more, we want it to where you don't constantly change your name.
Like
so
nicknames.
we'll store the names and the ID. And then no matter how you change your name later, we're using the ID and looking it up on our...
Right. We get the actual ID of each player, so then we can have our own database of player names for it.
That's a good solution.
I think it's great.
So I feel like the whole title thing and having a title might put like a delay because we don't know how it's going to work exactly in 1.8. So I really think the title is a good idea, but perhaps it should wait to iron out details until we definitely know.
If it's something to aim for, that's fine. We're just brainstorming at this point.
But yeah.
So is that all you do for veterans? Just the title?
Well, I'm sure there'd be more perks, but like it's just things you'd have to like think about. We'd have to ask people like what would they want exactly.
So I'm just gonna interject real quick. So a veteran is that's the name right now. A veteran would be someone who staff tried to get into the staff role, but they didn't want it, but they wanted to be recognized, or something else.
Maybe more people who could be like potential for staff role, whether or not they actually want to take up staff can have this kind of. And that's a bad way of wording it.
You can still shoot the players who have been around for a while and just don't. I don't know. They don't have the potential for staff, but they've still been around for a while and are trying to help out.
You go down the list of Mumble, like you have Anubis, he's not staff, but you could very much see him as a veteran player. Axon, he's been around for a very long time. He could be a veteran player. All these people who have been around for a long time. Spazzy, he could be a veteran player. But
Spazzy is an admin.
I think you should keep it separate from like an actual staff. Make it a different form of recognition. Don't tie it in with the whole staff status.
Yeah, you don't need to give them like permissions to ban and kick. Give them a accessible forum. Give them, I don't want to say creative, because that's what regular is now, and I think it works.
Give them
like,
the /kit stuff. Give them, I don't know, you can, like, details, but you could give them /kit iron, and then they get some iron armor or something like that.
Yeah, something
and it's not abusable, like, there's a time, like, once a week or something like that, but still.
Exactly, and there's so many things that you, like, go look at donator ranks, you know, like obviously we're not doing donator ranks because we never have, but look what those give them. Like veteran players are obviously very high class players who have been here, who have earned our trust. Like you can go down the list. There's clearly people here who are not staff, but we should give them recognition.
I hate to interject, but the whole donator thing is going to have to be relooked into because Mojang got their frumples in a frill, so to say.
Yeah,
and
that doesn't
anybody
impact us.
that's donating money, if they give an in-game advantage, you can't do that.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be able to give them an in-game advantage. Like we wouldn't be able to give them god armor, but maybe have access to their own world. You know, like have not necessarily anarchy map, but have maybe a veteran world where you can go play with like a group of people who've played a while. You know. Just to cool off, like
I wouldn't add another world in just because player base, but yeah.
Just details like that, though, you know. You can give them additional perks.
Yeah.
So after a set amount of time, after a set amount of time, say 3, 6, whatever months, we're talking. Since it's not game changing, we're talking after a set period of time, someone becomes a veteran.
Yeah,
I think that it needs to be longer than that because we already have reg. And what's happened is we've got players who've had regular status for 2 years now and who haven't been bumped up. So if someone comes in after 3 months and gets the same status as someone who's been here for 2 years, who are the people who are frustrated and rightfully so, I think that would be a problem. And I think that's what we're looking at.
Like regular is I don't even know how long it's whatever time. But then you could do veteran is like a year because that's commitment right there.
A year makes sense.
Sign was saying
At
time
least.
plus posts potential is equal to potential for a veteran slash seasoned.
Or time played, because we have people who've been around a long time who will have come back. We've got players who've come back from Old World recently who have started playing again, but they haven't played in 2 years.
Yeah.
So maybe time played on the server, because some of them are definitely veterans.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something that Red and I talk about a lot, so. I'm open to suggestions.
I feel like if we're gonna do this, the veteran system, I was AFK for a little bit, so I'm not entirely sure of what we just talked about. But if we're doing the veteran system, I don't think it should be some sort of mechanical, automated sort of thing. I think most of those sort of situations should be case by case, because of course there's some of those players that, even though they have been around a long time, that doesn't mean we should really recognize them as that, just because of their behavior and stuff. If it's not to the point where they get banned, but it's still really reprehensible, I think doing it on a case-by-case basis would be good.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like there should be an amount of time where it takes before you even start to get looked at. But yeah, case by case is probably a good idea.
Maybe
Not only that, doing it on a case-by-case basis also gives more meaning to it, that someone's actually, looking into how long you've been here and your contribution, and just to show more so that they matter.
Maybe after like a year they can apply for that, and then like someone looks over it or something and goes through all the applications. Probably actually a group of people would be more appropriate, but
I want to stay away from anyone applying for these roles because this should be something they're given. I'm thinking.
Yeah, because application forms can get abused easily.
And I mean, if they feel like they need to apply for it, that probably detracts from the feeling of them actually being recognized, because they have to bring it to the staff's attention. Hey, I'm here, I'm doing really good, and I have been for a long time. It should be something that the staff see and just make note of, so that they know that other people are noticing it.
I agree, because people haven't gotten regular who probably should have had regular because they don't want to ask to be recommended. And regular is based on recommendations. So I'll have people who can't build on creative, and they'll come to me and I'm like, you weren't recommended, and they just don't want to ask. So, which I think is an issue.
I couldn't build on creative even when I was mod by the time.
Right.
Do you want to talk about any kind of forum interaction? So like post limits or something?
I think that'd be hard.
What do you mean by post limit?
I know a lot of people who are very active in game per se is not very active. Like they just don't like posting on forums,
There's nothing like I don't post on the forums anymore because there's nothing that really requires my opinion anymore. So I haven't been active on the forums for God knows how long.
Then there's also lurkers too, right? So I don't think that should be a thing.
Alright.
Yeah, I have a big problem with the forums. I'm very, very lazy going there. I might even say I have a hatred with forums. I'm not very active actually, but I'm very active in the game, so it's a problem to count post counts.
So I'm hearing a veteran, a 1 year, right? Before they can actually be considered for veteran?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
1 year from what?
Start of play.
Start forum registration or
game registration? Because I did if you're going by forum registration, then I've played for 2.5 instead of 3 years.
How do you register in game though? Would we have an additional plugin that would track that? Because I know Townie tracked that, but right now I can't see the time I joined for old PvP. I mean, clearly new PvP's been out over a year. You can see anybody who's joined new PvP and they've been here a year.
There's a block log that would say the first block you removed, right?
Yes, totally, but is it going to tell you from, do you guys still have the block log from old PvP?
Actually, we do. I don't know why we do, but I'm pretty sure we do.
I was going to say, I think we do.
But again, if we just do a 1 year arbitrary time, people can log on and disappear for a year and come back as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's going to happen that often, but I think, quite honestly, we know the community enough and who's been around. Who I think
You'll
it'd be pretty
know
easy
you
to
know
just
the
say
player base.
exactly to say who should be bumped up to something.
Maybe it's a you've been online 30 different weeks or something like that.
This brings up another conundrum. I hate to shift gears. What about the staff that are currently now that haven't been around like forever? What are we going to do about them?
Leave them as staff. They were promoted staff. You leave them there.
Yeah, grandfather them in.
Except if they're inactive, right? We're going to clean that up.
Yeah,
well, that's why I'm saying there's people that have been inactive for a long time.
Well, inactive's inactive. Like we'll get rid of inactive because it's just inactive. So I'm not worried about that. We'll clean that list.
Because that stagnates the new list, so to say. They'll look back and say, we already have enough staff. We don't need any more when there is staff already that's not showing up. But they're still coming to roll call, so to say. But they're not really policing. I hate to bring up the dirty subject like this, but it's gonna.
I don't think there should be like an honest to god roll call where you say, okay, everybody has to show up or else you get bounced. You should check who's been on, and if you haven't been on, then you're gone.
Is it fair to say that staff should be in the forums? Like active staff should be participating in the forums?
Yeah. Well, no.
I think they should be forum aware.
Kamel just said he doesn't like the forum, so he stays away from them.
He's in the game all the time, and he'll go to Blocklog and do all the admin or the stuff there that he needs to. They need to be active somewhere.
Got it.
Forums or in game.
I might have to say something about this whole disappearing thing and stuff, because I basically disappeared twice, and I might explain why I actually disappeared, or one of the reasons I disappeared. Silver actually earlier mentioned a mod is basically a hall monitor. That was my biggest problem when I got modded a couple of years ago on Old World. I had to deal with a lot of stuff, but I didn't have any power. So I was actually running on a server, like back and forth. There were no how do you call it? Well, there were shrines, but still you have to walk everywhere. If you have found something, you couldn't do anything because you couldn't spawn any items to the damage. So that actually killed my game pretty much. And when I got modded the second time, same problem. I was running all over the place, but couldn't do anything. So it's a problem, and we should actually discuss how much power we give mods, or whatever we call them now. Yeah, that's actually what I've got to say.
I should clarify this. I'm going to use an example here. For example, Emison. I haven't seen him since Old Build, nor have I seen him post in the forums. It's been a whole year and a half, exactly.
Yeah,
Emison is an operator.
He shouldn't be.
It's
never
been cleaned
heard
up
of
already. He was back in Old Build.
That explains a little bit why.
Hey, everyone. I'm really, really sorry to interrupt. I gotta jump out, and I know this is a super important discussion to be having, and it's so generally it's been fairly positive. I know we're moving into leadership and or support for staff members, and I think that's a good point of discussion. So I'll just leave that.
Thanks, Jay.
Sorry, I actually went to the bathroom for the last minute, so.
Do we have a lot on the? I'm just wondering how long if people are going to have to start leaving if we need to break this into 2 meetings at some point.
Oh, I was just gonna postpone dinner until this was done.
I mean, after we get through the staffing, it's just I think it'll become pretty quick.
Okay, staffing and advertising. I'm gonna have to go pretty soon myself.
Got it.
Actually, I have a question for the people who do permissions here. Do you guys know if it's possible to give like certain world edit commands to some staff, but not all of them?
Sorry, I was typing. Can you say it again?
Do you know if it's possible to give certain world edit commands to the mods, but not all of them?
So you mean like smooth water, but not spawn thousands of cobblestone?
Or like slash rollback, and not like spawn stuff in.
I think that what would be helpful for mods, from when I was mod, is being able to TP to and from places, and being able to spawn items in, so you can actually replace damaged buildings and stuff like that, or replace lost materials. Those are the two things that as a mod were the most frustrating constantly, to have to find someone to do those. To get me back to where I was if I was helping someone, I have to hike across a map to go and help someone.
Don't we have a slash back command?
This goes back to training.
Return, but it doesn't work
Yeah.
anymore.
So again, with the training stuff.
But that's for ops, not for mods, right?
I thought I could. I remember not having an issue as much.
That would definitely work for mods. You can go back to where you previously teleported from with the back command as a mod.
If it works.
Okay.
But it doesn't always work. A lot of the time it doesn't.
Yeah, if there's a logout between going back, or if there's a server restart, you get kind of stuck.
That's true.
I think mods and stuff should be able to use the, I don't know, what was it, the slash set home command, as long as they don't abuse it, like for that instance where the server restarts in the middle of helping somebody.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm going to start marking these down here. So we're looking at still 2 levels of staffing. Is that correct?
I think right now, I don't know.
I don't
That's
see it
just
as
me.
an issue right now, as long as the mods get more permissions.
Okay. So
I'd agree with that.
All right, so for the mods, what are we comfortable? I know Tyr was saying you see the benefits, but you're not hearing any that should be an issue. So again, sorry, I stepped out for like 2 seconds. So
adding in spawning, I don't know if they already have, like, I don't know what commands mods have.
No.
Spawning items in slash back, maybe slash set home and slash home so that they can get around if there's an accidental server restart.
Can I speak to this?
Sure.
Yep.
Having had them. Either a TP that is more than just to a person without being able to TP elsewhere, so expanding the TP in some way. And another one that would be really helpful would be able to use fly. Not abuse, but to use. Would be really helpful to actually be able to see things and to work on repairing and stuff. Because right now the mods can't repair anything without having to just be using their own materials and going to an op to get the stuff returned to them.
But how would you track the abuse?
Wait,
What are we expecting mods to abuse their power?
We're not hoping, hopefully not.
I mean, they're there for a reason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And if they abuse, odds are somebody will report it. And
That's exactly it.
Secondly, would it be possible to make a command like enable staff work mode that automatically
Slash
logs
staff.
everything you're using? Maybe it puts a little icon next to your name, makes you invincible. That way on PvP especially, there's no confusion of what you're doing. If you got to go in, I know we've had problems in the past where a staff member needs to be a staff member, and they should not be involved in PvP on either side of a battle.
I think that's fantastic.
What, like just a slash staff command or a staff mode on?
There was that staff back.
Staff mode on would be ideal.
And then it would also just say it should also say something in chat then, just so everybody knows that you're going into staff mode.
Yep.
I remember on New PvP I used to type in caps before going in anywhere where people were fighting, just like caps lock staff mode enabled TP.
So new staff mode. This would have to be a custom thing, right? So a new staff mode which reports to the global chat.
Like, I don't know if you'd want to do it for like muting and stuff, but you could have it for all the other commands. You'd have to have staff mode on.
Yeah, that's permits or actually it helps suppressing accidents, and actually it completely gets rid of exploiting staff powers. So that's a good thing, I guess.
It clears up a lot of PvP concerns that we've had in the past.
Silver brings up the mute command too.
Is that personal mute or global mute?
Shutting someone up.
Player mute.
Global mute should that would be I think that would be a non-staff mode, because you'd want to be able to deal with that in a timely fashion, not have to put in 2 commands.
You can type quickly. I don't think it'd be as much of an issue which command is located on either side for just mute, but
that's also implementation.
And then another thing with moderator permissions. What was it? I just had it in my head. Temp banning. I don't know if we have a temp ban command, but I know mods can't unban anybody. So if somebody's like acting up, we can't ban them for say, hey, come back in an hour and I'll unban you. I think a /temp ban 1 hour command would be.
Yeah, we can kick. That's it.
Lovely.
Yeah, we can. But continual kicking can get annoying.
Extremely, especially on both sides. So I think temp ban would be nice. Unbanning for mods, maybe.
I don't know, I kind of think it's still good just to have ops be unbanning, but I don't know, you guys deal with it more.
Maybe we don't want to call it temp ban. Maybe we want to make a cooldown command where someone is clearly hot-headed, something's gone wrong, and they need to just take an hour away from the game, and it's just, you don't have an option of how long the temp ban is. It's always a 2-hour period.
Good idea.
Well, it could like, you could change the time period, like 1 hour, half hour, 2 hour, depending on like how raging they are. I don't know.
More cooldown. Spazzy said he had an amazing idea, so I'm assuming he's typing it out.
How about the temp ban starts at 15 minutes, and every time you type it, it doubles?
That would work.
That actually is not a bad idea, yeah. But then it would also have to get tracked as to how many times somebody's been temp banned.
Well,
don't want to make things too complicated.
Yeah,
permanent.
I think just /temp ban 15 or 30 or 45 would make sense.
There you go.
What, like number of minutes?
Yeah, just type /temp ban space 15. He'll be temporary banned for 15 minutes. He'll come back. If he's still being a dick, you ban him for an hour. And then full ban.
Something that came into my mind while talking about bans. For the veterans, we could, I don't know, you could write another thing that goes recommend ban or recommend temp ban. And then it sends it to any staff that are online. It sends a message saying this person recommended that this person gets banned or something like that.
Definitely. Then it never calls out that person who suggested it to the person
public.
being banned.
Yeah.
So this goes along with the community watch type of role.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So you
We
could
have to
throw
remember
that
somebody has to write all these plugins or whatever we're doing as well, so we need to make sure someone's got the time and space in their life to do that.
I think there's
These are very quick ones to code.
there might be plenty of ones already available as well. I know we're very into custom coding plugins, but there are a lot of very stable ones out there.
Temp ban is already out there. I don't know if we have essentials, like Bucket Essential, but I think temp ban is part of Essential.
No, and I agree. There's lots out there, and there are things that are easy to do. But if we pile a lot on, we have to still remember, no matter how easy it is to do, that people have lives outside of this. And so even if it's a 15-minute job, sometimes carving out 15 minutes isn't as easy as you might think, is all. That's just thing that we need to respect, that we keep it as minimal extra workload, or we're going to be bogged down and frustrated again if we're not careful.
So for the mods, what was the staff mode suggestion again? I didn't get a clear understanding of what that was.
So what we were talking about for staff mode is we give mods like fly and ability to spawn items and stuff like that. so that they can go fix and help more and two-way TP and slash set home and stuff like that. But to use all those commands, you have to type in slash staff mode on, and then it enables them all for you instead of having to instead of them just always being able to be used and there's no monitoring.
Got it. And that reports to the global chat? I heard something about that.
Yeah, so if you type staff mode on, it would say so-and-so mod is, or so-and-so op or whatever is now in staff mode. Be careful of them, or something like that, I don't know.
Didn't we have it on all?
Especially like for PvP, I can't even tell you how many times I saw Terravolt around my town in staff mode and I tried to kill him.
Did you try to kill me?
6 times.
Really?
Yeah.
We weren't even enemies.
I kill everybody.
Right,
Except
okay.
for me.
Okay, but that's you. Killing you is rude.
It's just sad. It's pathetic. I know.
Nickel, to your point, yeah, this is a good. I mean, I'm gonna once we kind of organize this. Anyone who didn't come to the meeting, all these notes are gonna go on the forum. So I'm gonna basically be saying, hey, does anyone want to work on this? So.
Cool. Thanks.
Ops. What does ops have that mods don't? Besides world edit.
They can unban.
Creative.
Banning
Unbanning.
They can teleport people to themselves. They can teleport, or what was it? Teleport to a coordinate.
Yeah. World
Don't
edit.
they also have God mode and invisible?
Oh, God mode, yes. Invisible, no. Invisible would be really helpful.
Invisible's on PvP. I don't know why it's not on build.
Yeah,
I need
invisible.
There's also Inventory C on PvP. I'm not sure why it isn't on build. That would be so much more useful on build, because you can actually take stuff.
I
It
mentioned
could have gotten
that
so much more back.
I mentioned that a week ago. It would be so helpful to have NFC. You can watch for hoppers so fast.
Wait. Okay, time out. We're talking to build. We're talking additional plugins to add to build, right?
Yeah,
Well,
build
it
doesn't
has
have
been-
right now.
It has been on PvP, but it is not on build, like NFC and Vanish.
Can you guys type the plugins that you want on build into the chat? Just to make sure I got them right. Alright, so ops have world edit, ban, TP people, God mode, no invisible. So the mods don't have TP commands? I wrote that down for
No.
mods.
All you can do for mods right now is TP to a person. And back.
And sometimes
back
go back.
doesn't work.
Okay, so ops can just TP people all over the place.
Yes.
Alright, and God mode. Okay, cool. Is that enough of it? Is that enough of an increase for mods where mods are like, yeah, I got power?
Didn't we say we also want mods to be able to spawn stuff in and fly to help rebuild?
I'm torn on that one because
I'm torn
as a
too.
mod, I don't necessarily believe that I have the restraint to not spawn stuff for myself.
Fair enough. I mean, that's a good point.
That's why
I
you'd
have no
have to have
problem bringing
staff
stuff
mode.
in. I'm available as much as I can. I have no problem stepping in and helping, at all. But sometimes there isn't an op around, and people just have to wait. And people have been really patient for the most part. If there's a big repair that needs to be done.
I'll be devil's advocate and I'll say there's staff for a reason, right?
Indeed.
That too, and the thing is, you'd have to have your staff mode on to be able to actually use those, the spawn in. So it would get tracked what you do, so it's a lot harder to actually abuse it.
Right.
Maybe spawning stuff reports to the chat or something.
That would spam
no,
chat if you're doing
because
any
you
sort
wouldn't
of
want
big
people
job of
knowing.
repairing.
Yeah, that would get annoying.
Alright.
Maybe there should be a spawn log or something.
Maybe anything
Yeah.
done in staff mode should be logged.
It's good. That means somebody has to
Everything
sit.
in staff mode should be logged.
True, but someone has to, be checking that as well then. But
Well,
totally.
every week you can
Well-
sift through and say whatever.
Would you really have to have somebody checking it all the time, or could you if there's accusations of abuse, then you could go through and check their logs?
No, totally, you could do that.
Yeah, that'd be easy.
That
it
makes
could
more
be
sense.
it could be a similar setup to how we have the ban log and the block log set up too.
Exactly.
You can tell pretty quickly in the logs right now, the block logs, when staff has been adding things or working on things. Usually, if you see a staff member
But it
doing
could be so much easier if we just the command they used.
Totally.
I mean, maybe they made an honest mistake, and you can see what exactly they did that was a mistake.
either way, if they did abuse it, it wouldn't get away. It wouldn't happen for long. So.
I hate to shift gears here, but should we start discussing about advertisement, how to bring in more people?
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the staffing. So I guess I don't have a good understanding of what veterans get still, but before we move on.
Do we
So
continue that in a thread on the forums? So
Yeah,
other people
we'll make
can-
a bunch of forum threads. Read the meeting.
Yeah.
Are you avoiding that or wanting to avoid that?
Wait, what are you guys saying?
Well, we don't have to avoid the forums because there are people who obviously can't attend due to time, work, life, whatever, right? But so we could take it to the forums and ask for opinions, and we also do have what we came up with already.
Brad, we're just saying that we could take a little bit of this onto the forums, move on, and then keep this discussion. And I think we're going to need to. I'd love to gather more often like this regularly, but even have a follow-up meeting would be really good.
Oh God, yeah, we're gonna have these more frequently.
Okay, then I'll post the only thing I have for veteran right now is it takes a year and they have recommend ban.
They also get titles. Well, we were saying they could get like a custom title, Radley. So I could choose like Shadow as mine, and it's Shadow Anubis in chat, or you could choose basically whatever you want. But to change it,
Nickel
you
the
have to
Brave,
talk to
whatever.
a staff so that it gets approved and isn't profane.
Yeah, I think we just have to brainstorm over a while, because I think in order to be recognized properly, like, they're going to want more than a title.
Oh God, yeah.
We need to brainstorm more for sure. I see there's more
Okay.
stuff happening in the chat as well, though.
Alright. We got creative team. I mean, we could leave the other games for a different time. We got the creative team discussion, and we got the marketing stuff.
I don't know that staffing's totally done looking at the side chat. People are feeling that we need to have more active and visibly active admins and higher staff. But that's still an issue.
Actually, yeah, that's got to be priority here. We have to talk about that.
Indeed.
What do you? I mean, many of us are staff, right? What do we do? I mean, do we bring in more people? I mean, for staff, like, how do we do it? Do we?
I think we need to look at what the current staff is, who's actually playing and who's actually available, and perhaps we need to bump some people up to op and introduce some more mods. But you're saying, what I'm seeing here is that people want more admins visible, and I don't know if that's necessarily
Well, I mean, the admins do need to be a
needed.
little bit more visible because
Well, the
there are
difference
players who don't
between
even know
ops
who
and
they are.
admins aren't really relevant to the players.
No, it's not. It's all the back end stuff, and the average player base won't really care about that.
So maybe admin is not a title we need necessarily. Maybe we should just call it.
Shut up.
Spazzy is very protective of his title. He likes it very much. It's his precious, right, Spazzy?
Yeah, I gotta be better than everyone, you know that.
Well, I'm not saying that
Exactly.
we get rid of the concept. Maybe we need to make it a specific title, like Nimbala would be head developer.
Well, I'm already
That
cooking,
makes
so I
sense.
guess I could live with that.
Yeah, and then like people like it's titles dependent on what you actually do as admins because you don't all do the same thing, I'm sure.
Right. JHC, Radley, Spazzy, Nim, they're all doing different things. They're very clearly community titan leaders, but they're not doing the same thing as admin.
Yeah, because
Oh,
if you
it's
actually
leading,
look
is
on
that leading
the
over a cliff? What?
if you look at the front page of Rawcritics here, let me go find the forums again. You go home and then you look at the staff members. 1 second. Rawcritics staff directory. It says like what they do. It says somewhere eventually. It's not going to load for me, but it says Radley's like marketing and stuff like that. Oh, here we go. Spackleboy owner, Napier network, Radley communications, tire developer, JHC
I haven't
network and
seen
server
Napier
admin,
in months.
stuff like that.
For reference, Napier's my brother, by the way.
And apparently Nimbalo is oregano. Perfect.
It fits.
Yep.
But yes, people who are mods on here that I haven't seen on in a while. Oh, operators, Billy Nero. Has anybody seen him in a while?
I got him on Steam. I talk to him every now and then.
I mean,
Still
I
making
saw.
armor.
Yeah, that's the last that I heard of him.
He was making
Yeah.
armor.
Occasionally, he's on
Making armor and
Mumble.
brewing mead.
Occasionally, I'll rumble
mead.
in a separate channel with some of his buddies or something.
Alright, so clearly that has to be updated.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the question isn't so much, I don't think, about the titles. It's about how do we get more staff into roles, so it's like, or more efficiently get staff into roles, I guess.
Maybe we make every current op an admin, every current op or every current mod an op, and every current like regular whatever player. We're gonna make that the mod. And we
Let's
just
not
fucking
do that.
I mean, that's an idea. It's just not a good one.
That's pretty bad, actually.
I do agree with Silver that the current mods who are currently playing, the ones who play regularly, could get bumped up to op.
The current mods being who? Like, I'm just gonna go down the list that's on the forums: Nickel, Kamale, Dominus, Doranos, JSFM, Mini Ninja, Cam Johnson, Samovsky.
I haven't seen KM lately. What's going on there?
He's been doing other stuff. He's not playing very much. No, we're talking about the ones who are here that we see a lot. Sprawl doesn't have a computer right now.
Soccer, and then Yawambu.
Yeah.
Is there any reason not to do that, say, today?
I think it needs to be people who are playing more regularly, who are actually active. But yeah, I don't see any reason not to.
Okay, and then Ops. Nero. Anybody seen him?
Nope.
Does he actually play, is the better question.
Not since I've become staff.
I have not seen
so over a year.
Money's fairly active enough. Like,
he is.
He shows up when he's needed at least, so that's good.
Sheldon?
Yep, he's been around lots.
Sheldon,
He's
are you
here.
active?
Yeah, he's here, so... if
not
he doesn't
tapping,
respond, that's kind of awkward for him, but... who's next on this? Sainu?
Also here. Also playing lots.
Terravolt? I don't know. Who's this
guy? Seems sketchy.
Terravolt? Yeah, I know, he's pretty sketchy. Seems very shocking, though. And then there's this person called Whimsy's Girl. I don't think she plays much.
Not around ever at all.
Never on. No, not at all.
So
just banner.
But I don't feel the need to be bumped up from where I am. I don't know that that would make a huge difference in what I'm able to do for the community.
Is there anybody in the moderators list that doesn't deserve or isn't trusted to be pulled up to the operators?
I think it depends on who's playing more than anything else. If they're not going to be playing, do they need to be bumped up? But I don't know, that's maybe just me.
My own personal opinion, most of the moderators have been good, but the whole thing about it is the matter of attendance. We're having people peel off for months at a time. They don't show up, and then all of a sudden, one day they might come back and be like, "Oh, I'm back," and yada yada yada, and then they just disappear again for months.
Well, I mean that's kind of part of the. There would have to be someone responsible, or the staff would have to be responsible for moderating themselves, like cleaning themselves out.
Maybe we need a monthly tribunal of staff cleanup.
Yes, but who leads the tribunal?
Rotating basis.
Maybe it's literal. Like you can't mess with it. Like it's whoever. Look at the last month. If they haven't been around, then take them out.
Okay, that actually. Well, I'd give them longer than a month, because a month can be like I did basically next to no gaming all through June because exams and stuff. So I'd give them a month and then give them a chance to explain what they've been doing or something like that.
I mean that's fine. Staff can always come in and notify people of what they're doing.
I was between jobs for 2 months, so I didn't have a computer that was worth playing on. So it happens.
Definitely.
Alright guys, I have dinner. I will return God knows when.
Cool. So for the operators list, we can, like right now, we could take out Billy, right?
I think so.
We could take out, sorry, is Money and Hose around? I don't know.
He is. He's at work right now, so I've been Skyping with him, and he's really frustrated that he can't be here for this.
Sheldon, Sinu, Turbo, Whimsy, all you guys are good. So for moderators, like, that list, JSFM, is he still around?
He's not playing very much these days. I don't think he'd I don't want to speak for him, but right now I think he's quite happy just sticking with mod.
Ninja? Anyone see Ninja?
He's on vacation with Nim right now.
Yeah, he wants to be here. I honestly like Doranos. All he does is post in the pony thread. I don't.
But,
I don't
oh my
wanna,
god,
like,
is he consistent with
yeah,
that?
I mean, I don't want to call him out, but he's on the forums every day, just posting in the pony thread. So
He'll occasionally come on and deal with something if no one else does, but it's pretty rare. I think he's fine staying as a mod right now, personally.
So, with the exception of Billy, this list is pretty accurate then.
I think so.
For the ops.
Well, for the mods.
Silver just brought up something interesting. He may not be active in. This is speaking of Doranos. He may not be active in Minecraft, but he has been helping Silver out with Starbound.
That's true.
That's
and he
fair.
does, like I say, he does jump on quite a lot if no one else is around. He'll be there right away through the forums.
So, brief talk about. So, okay, this is a good setup for then Minecraft, and then we can talk about in the staff forums and stuff. We could talk about moving up moderators to the ops because they've been around a while, and then we can talk about moving current players to the moderator role, right?
That sounds good. Should we have some way for people to indicate whether that's something they would like? They want to be nominated or considered for mod?
Yeah. I mean, usually how that goes, so everyone knows, is we approach them, someone approaches them, and they personally, and they tell them F off or, yeah, I want it. So I don't know if there's like a mass way to do it, but what about, okay, so what about staffing for Starbound? Can we talk about Starbound for a second? Like, is it a thing? Is it a real thing?
Can I
It's just that it's
have
very
an opinion?
unstable and it crashes every few hours.
Yeah, I was about to say the single player Starbound is awesome, but at the same time you can actually drag your items from single players to multiplayer.
It's suffering the same thing earlier Terraria did.
Yeah. So basically what's happening is these people, I believe they do have inventory editors. They're bringing in hacked items into the server. I mean, if you need more evidence of this, just look to our spawn that keeps getting blown up.
So is it anything more than just a playground right now?
Until they can find something where I don't even know if they're even going to stop, single player to multiplayer. I don't see any change happening because people are going to just keep hacking items and destroying shit.
Silver said that he can speak to this. He's got some comments in the text as well. Silver does.
There's others commenting in the text right now.
Yeah, once the admin tools finally get released for it, we'll probably reset the map and then we'll be off from there and we'll be able to set up our staff and our protections and everything like that.
Yeah, when I look at the bottom of the forums, Starbound is typically ahead in players than Minecraft. I don't know what they're doing on there, but they're not typically ahead.
Players that are usually part of our community. They're like weird one-off people I've never heard of before.
Do they know we have forums, though?
Most of them come from the server lists that we have up.
My guess is they don't know we have forums.
It's probably just not advertised on there.
Well, I guess we can't do anything to, fix it right now, but it just kind of leave it as is, I guess?
Alright, so I took a note of keep the playground around until admin controls, because no one seems to be in favor of actually getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Phone call. Well, I just want to see what Silver has to say real quick.
Silver, do you know if there's any good rappers out yet, or are they still all kind of shit? Yeah, they've always been a bit of shit.
Definitely.
Half the time they crash, half the time they don't work. As soon as the server gets updated, they all start throwing a bunch of crap.
So, are you in consensus, Silver? We keep the playground going, whatever. It's just whatever until the admin controls come up. Alright, so staffing it. Like, obviously someone has to restart it and stuff like that. Is there enough
Well, at
resources
the moment,
available?
I think I'm the only one that's restarting it, because it seems to be forgotten by a lot of people.
I don't know how to restart it.
You just log into the other server and rerun the server command, which would be in one of the screens.
Silver, do you have access to that?
I was going to give him access. Remember, I kept trying to get you to get SPAC to set up the account, but it never happened.
It did happen. Wait, I think it did happen though. Anyway, but okay, that's a to do. So, and it's not just him; it's just maybe other people, because that's not really a risk, right? It's just that's the only thing running on it right now.
However, the one problem is it's the same account details as our main server.
Oh.
I have a question for everybody here. I posted it in the town hall thread. There's a game that me and Sinslave and I think Guitar we play off and on, but I've been really smitten with it. I've been playing it a lot. I kind of dropped off because I got a little bit bored because the servers I've been looking at are up and around. Other people have been running and have been quite abusive. But who here has played 7 Days to Die? And yeah, it is kind of. But if Starbound, my bad.
You just called your game out when you didn't have to.
I think
But,
it runs fine.
If it's possible, and if we have any resources, could we possibly set up a 7 Days to Die server if there's enough people interested? Excuse me.
I mean, we can do it. We can set up something. It's not a problem. We have the hardware, so it's a matter of, I guess, interest, and more than just like one person interest. So that'll be one of my to-dos. I'll go on and I'll start I have actually started a couple of conversations on this, so maybe I'll just actually do maybe a vote or something. I don't know, like list out 4 or 5 games or whatever if there is one. Like I know Spazzy wants a Rust server, but maybe we'll leave that up to the community. You know what I mean? Through a vote on what games we can kind of approach. That way we can save the talk for something else.
That'd be good, actually, because there are people who can't be here right now, and it'd be good to have more voices for something like that still. I don't want to drag things out too long in votes and posts, but if we had like short term and scheduled another meeting, if people, for whoever can make it, maybe that would be good. To follow up after we gather some information and distill things down a bit.
Okay. As far as everything else, like the other things are really kind of pools I wanted to talk about, but meaning the creative team, graphic designers, web designers, the back-end programmers. Cam, I know you're interested in kind of the back-end stuff now. I'll bring that. I guess I'll bring that to the forum, so we don't have to talk about it here because it is a bigger conversation. I want to gather people together. I want to put teams together. I want to have a group of graphic designers or web designers or programmers, right? And there's projects that come about. There's maybe the team graphic designers. They kind of do inquiries every 2 weeks or something and see what graphic design works that needs to be done. So there's actual pools of people, is what I was thinking. Pools of people that would actually help out with this stuff. Mark.
Absolutely. I think that's fantastic.
So if someone has an interest in doing graphics in WeDocs, you wanted to come up with a marketable campaign, like an event or something. Graphic design team comes up with a quick logo or something if you suck at that. So, and then whatever, if we have a marketing pool, we can bring it to them, and marketers would be responsible for pushing it out over the social media elements and stuff like that.
Ooh, I have experience in advertising.
So, I do. But I mean, so the social media stuff's not that hard, really. It's just a matter of it's like hitting your checkpoints. But even I don't know. I guess that's what I'm going to find out. So I'll poll the community on that stuff. So
the social stuff is okay as long as it's taken care of.
Like I'm literally I'm the only one that tweets. Like I'm the only one that sends out tweets. So I mean, I would open that up if someone else was interested. But again, there's only with 130 followers right now. So, and I gained 5 of them today.
Oh, I was gonna ask, how's the advertisement thing going on the website? I know that you said for a while nobody was they had the advertisements blocked. Remember? Or does anybody remember that?
I'm drawing a blank.
You were talking about the forum. Everybody was using ad block.
Oh, that was Spack had a fit.
Oh, okay.
He was going on. He just went on. And he was like, we're looking for money for hardware. So I mean, because we had a broken hard drive, so we had no money. But he ended up finding hardware. But that was that.
Well, I was gonna say I know I redid my ad block to allow Rawcritics and a few others, but has it made a big impact or not? You know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest, I haven't looked in a while, so because I'm so used to not having a lot coming in. So that'll be part of my update. I'll go in and I'll kind of report on all the finances, and that answers your question, Nickel. I'll put that as part of the kind of updates for the meeting when I send it live, when I put it live.
World. It's meant to get updated sometime soon.
What's CAH?
I remember that.
Really? Okay. So I'm going to update. I'll ask about graphic designer pool, web designer pool, programmer pool. Anyone interested in marketing? Nerb, I know you're interested in marketing.
Social media.
Social media. Yep. The last thing I want to do, and I know we passed the 2.5 hour mark. You guys are really patient, so thank you. I want to get to the questions. There's like 5 questions in the 3rd tab. The people that posted, so I really want to do that quick.
You're cutting out, by the way.
I want to go over the questions in the Google Doc really quick that people posted. There's only 5 of them, so. First, is there a substantial if there's a substantial interest in the game, we could look into setting up an official Rawcritics server? Yes. Long story short, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what I'm going to post for the votings. Second question, what is the staff doing to attract new members to the community? Nothing. How's that?
My book keeps on bringing in all the kids.
That's I mean that.
It's not helpful.
Exactly.
Kids coming. Exactly, it's a problem, so.
We have non-staff helping us out with that, so I mean that kind of shows you where we're at with it. But that's the point. That's why I want to gather people and get them in a group so that we can actually push forward to that. So, is it possible for the new Veteran Community Watch rank to have access to World Edit? Let's say
creative.
No, I think that's too much.
Let's see how it works out first, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing to be giving to people.
There's a pretty big learning curve as well. If they don't know what they're doing, they can fuck a lot of things up.
I still don't know what I'm doing.
Maybe
Mods don't even have it.
Limited access, maybe.
Yeah, maybe for
But like
or something.
That's a massive amount of tools that staff don't have, let alone regular players. Because mods don't have access to that, right? So they'd be jumping past all the staff.
What happened to the voice narration crew, and why did a trailer never get made? And I'm assuming this is referring to RCS.
I think so, yeah. Sounds like.
Well, what is the status of RCS? Exactly. I don't know. I mean, I know as much as you guys do, probably. So I don't think that's
RCS will come out with the next season of Firefly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I looked at the logs. We were discussing RCS the same time that Josh Smirsky had his little debacle.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a while ago.
Uh-huh.
It's too bad, man. He did a ton of work on that. So that's dead as long as JMax not involved, I think, because no one really picked up on that. So I think that's a fair answer. We're still open to it, and maybe I don't know how that would even work with Nimbalo's plugins.
It's on hiatus for now, anyway. So,
is it possible for an advanced user map to build stuff for maps for projects with World Edit? It would be very limited.
Sorry, what?
This was Sin's question. Is it possible for advanced user map to build stuff for maps for projects with World Edit? It would be very limited possible schematic map.
So you mean like a creative map where you had world edit? Correct.
Sin, are you around?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I was one of the 4 that helped out on the new PvP, and it was really helpful building with a lot of the tools that World Edit has.
What?
A lot of ideas I couldn't implement. Maybe set on back burner.
I think he's saying that a little bit of world edit on creative would be nice. Is that what you're saying, essentially?
Essentially, but it would be a separate map there that wouldn't be something that anyone could abuse.
So a map for veterans sort of thing? Or whatever that rank is?
Yeah, or, because I know Silver, we also wanted to build a lot of stuff for, like, events, for, like, PvP map. Somewhere where you could work on it, and just schematic it over, without taking down the map or anything.
So like a drawing board to draw things for future events, maybe?
Yeah, and staff could come in, get input, whether they like it or not.
So basically, though, a separate map where certain players could come on and have world edit and everything, and then you could copy from there.
Essentially, yeah.
Cool. I would love this.
That'd be an update for the creative map. Okay. So the thing's called Advanced User Map. Advanced User Map.
Workshop, something like that, yeah.
That'd be a great perk for veterans, I think. Or for, that whatever rank that is. That's above and beyond regular. I think that would be just that would be more of a nod to recognizing their maturity, their time with the server, than most things would be.
Kind of a spin-off of Axon's question, but maybe on a different map.
Okay. Thoughts on a community download for pre-modded game and or game client loaded with minimap and or Optifine for players with slower gaming laptops for easy download for new players. Tier said that would be a cool thing to do. I gotta reread that. I didn't understand it. Community downloads for pre-modded games and or game clients loaded with minimap. Oh, okay. So essentially, you're talking about there's basically like a Rawcritics client, right? And it has preloaded stuff.
I thought we had one of those at one stage.
Sheldon made one a little bit ago. Well, a while ago.
I had tiers like 4 years ago.
Basically, we would have
everything tier makes is crap, so it's all good.
Don't be me.
Say a new person's bought the game, they find our website there. Well, they could just have a link that would be able to click on to download that would automatically install.
I don't know, depending on how legal things are, but I'm pretty sure it's not legal to redistribute the jar file officially.
That's why you see it nowhere, yeah.
Well, I know sometimes, like, Veteran will wipe up a bunch of the mini-map and Optifine and just have, like, a download where you can, like, let everybody else get it.
Oh, that'd be good.
New maps or updates come along.
Is this another potential veteran perk?
I'm not following.
It may just be handy for all players, just to be able to offer them that.
Yeah, so you like your new, younger player database.
Exactly.
Doesn't know how to install mini maps are Optifine, but say they just got like a really crappy computer for their first computer, and maybe they want to be part of the community.
I think it's fantastic. And it'd be good for everyone, and something that we could offer to them.
So I'm going to call it the
Rawcritics starter kit or something. I don't know.
is Rawcritics game client to not write.
That works.
Performance starter model is what we use at the company.
Rawcritics game client. Preloaded with stuff like Minimap. What's Optifine?
Basically, it allows you to adjust your frame rate, hide the bedrock fog, stuff like that.
It lets you. It lets you.
To WorldGen as well.
Basically, lets
But
you
for
optimize your
single player.
computer.
Yeah, it's a lot of deep, hard-coded things that would be very difficult to configure for better performance at first. Things like increasing your memory allocations for Java, things like that.
So we already have an existing framework for that. Is that correct here?
I was distracted trying to get over my being insulted. What? Sorry.
This is different than that. I think the RAD. It's client side.
Got it.
I mean, I've got 8 and 9-year-olds that use it. I just installed it for 2 kids I was babysitting yesterday, and they were configuring everything on their little laptops that are really, really, really shoddy, so they could actually play without lagging. It's just it's something they don't. It's hard for them to get installed sometimes, but once they have it, they can use it. So.
All right, cool. So this might be a project down the line. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last but not least, we have a question. Oh, when will the homepage be updated? It's advertising Tekkit.
We need to update the wiki and everything too.
Yeah, there's got to be an overhaul, and that's going to be part of the web designers and the graphic designers pool.
Yay!
I can go in and take down some. I can do some quick changes, obviously. I just haven't. But yeah, that's part of that's probably like priority number 1. Obviously, web design, right? So that's probably priority number 1 for that pool. To answer your question.
New games.
All right, well, because it's always fun, I guess. If you want to do a couple minutes, I have other games. I've been personally, and I know a lot of people haven't played it. I've been personally playing Space Engineers lately. They're coming out with a dedicated server. They might already have it. It gave me a lot of the feeling of when I first kind of started Minecraft. It was kind of cool. But what else? What else are you guys playing that potentially could be a thing?
I did have a TTT server up recently, but I think we only got traffic from randoms just looking on the server list, but I doubt any of them ever would have come through to the forums.
EverQuest Landmark.
Oh yeah, Landmark. I tried to get Rad to play Landmark the other day. I've gone in the beta for that as well. It's pretty awesome, but it's pretty unfinished at the moment.
This is the Wait, which one? Sorry.
I remember I tried to get you to play the one. It was the one where you can mine anywhere in the world, dig holes randomly anywhere, build whatever. I gave you a key for it. You'd never come to play.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you are.
You sound not so tired anymore.
I would love to see a Space Engineers server soon for us.
Well, once the server's out, we can. What happened to that shooty space thingy?
Star Maid.
Yeah, are we still having that? I have no idea.
What happened to Air Buccaneers?
Should I go ahead and delete that off the Mumble channel?
Well, I got the credits for it that served my purpose.
Is that still being developed?
No, the developers kind of vanished.
So they went full on Rawcritics on us.
So I have Space Engineers, TTT, EverQuest Landmark. You guys are talking about that a couple.
Well, Landmark's an MMO. I don't think you can have private servers for it. It'd be more of a group of us playing than anything else, I think.
Yeah.
7 Days to Die, but that was a small scale thing.
Rust, if we can do. I don't know. Is there an official Rust server out? Because I know last time I looked, most of the Rust private servers were hacked. They weren't official.
The thing with Rust is Gary, he's totally redoing it because he really wasn't satisfied with like the original outcome of it, so he's like redoing everything with it. So that would probably be something to wait for.
Yeah, but we can always have it up, and people can be playing it, waiting for that.
I like it. Can we host an Elder Scrolls Online server?
Oh god, I've paid for that. I still pay for that. I haven't played it in like a month or 2 months.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just a little bit hungover.
Okay. The other games talk is going to be evolving, obviously, and if there's a clear winner, I mean, we'll put up anything. I guess the bottom line is we'll put up anything, right? It's either going to stick or it's not going to stick. But...
Oh wait, wasn't Sheldon supposed to announce the winners of the pixel art contest as well?
Except I don't think he's around anymore.
He's not here right now.
Okay, there's a IRC server discussion. We'll talk more about that. There's all the updates that we have to do. There's wiki updates. We're gonna get just gonna get the teams together to do this. So I'll start pulling together on the forums, trying to get the teams together.
Cutting out a little.
Thank you so much for organizing this, Rad, and leading it.
Yeah. Thank you, Rad.
Definitely.
It's about 3 years overdue, I think. So.
Oh, did I miss the whole of this? God damn it.
We're on hour 3, dude.
Oh, sorry. I got stuck on a fucking bus for like 2 hours. It was a nightmare.
It's alright. We record the whole thing. We'll post it soon.
Okay, that's perfect. Thanks.
For the guy that's gonna sit and listen to 3 hours of us talking.
I'd listen to a week of you guys talking.
Aw, you can take notes and then comment on the forums.
I don't know, I tend to drone on a lot.
That's okay.
Wims,
Yes?
yeah, I want to touch base with you if you had. I don't know, maybe not today. Whenever you want. I want to combine notes just to make sure I got them all here.
Sure thing, mine sort of are haphazard, but totally.
Cool.
But I need to. I've got a couple of minutes, but I need to go grab Red, and he's like an hour and a half drive away.
No, it doesn't have to be today. So.
Are you around tomorrow?
It won't get done if it's not done on a schedule.
I'll message you.
Alright, cool.
Even if it's on a schedule, it's still probably not going to get done.
Alright, cool. Then I'll post this all on the forums, and then we'll see what the community says, and then I'll have like 5 or 6 action items for everyone to take. So hopefully it'll spark.
One last question. Would like an updated logo, like we have the guy with the megaphone, right? Would you be looking for some sort of change on that, but still keeping with that theme as some sort of new sort of logo, just to throw onto something?
I am. I swear to you when I say I will rip this whole thing apart and rebuild it. Like have everyone rebuild it from scratch. Like whatever is the decision. The graphic that's up to the graphic designers pool and web designers pool. Like they can come up with new ideas, present it to the community. Community can pick, or they can pick. Doesn't matter. Like this is the kind of segmentation I kind of want to get to. Like this actual people making decisions. You know, it's not just all relying on like 3 or 4 people. So to answer your question, yes, we can redo it or keep it or whatever. Why do you want to do it?
I'm teaching myself Photoshop, so I'd like to try.
Hey, I hate to interrupt here, but I'm just gonna say, I hate to say what's been said already. Want to say thanks to each and every one of you that showed up. I had fears myself that it was just gonna be maybe a handful of 4 or 5 people. And then, you guys rocked my socks off, and just seeing all you old members and current members, it's really good to see you here again. And it's good to see that the community isn't really. I had this fear that the community was already so far gone that nobody was going to show up. Myself, so just shooting this out there. Thanks for everybody that came. It means a lot to not just myself but everybody here.
Not gone. We're just lazy.
So I should probably get to sleep. I haven't slept in 48 hours. You guys have fun.
Thanks for coming, Mad.
I'm sorry that I couldn't make the actual thing.
I'm just teasing, dude.
Oh, yo, I just got back. Surprised this is still going on, by the way. Matt, PM me your address.
I don't live in the U.S., so don't worry about it.
Okay. PM me your Steam info.
God bless.
Wait, is he the winner?
He won one of them.
Oh, neat.
Ooh.
I'm just going through and looking, because... Can you put Drag It In back up? I need to see them again.
Shit.
Yeah, Drag It In has gone down again.
Have you seen them on the server though, Shell?
No.
You really need to. I'm sorry, but in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I know. I'm gonna see the chords. I trust Mad, so.
Oh,
that's
no, mine isn't on the server at all. I did mine
gotcha.
in Flux build.
With that,
I don't mind.
I'm gonna go AFK for a few minutes.
Thanks, and Bruno.
And thank everybody here for coming. I'll be
And
back.
likewise.
Thanks, guys.
I have a couple of build pictures of building it though, if that's decent. I don't know.
Officially ended at 2 minutes 56 seconds and 30 seconds. 2 hours 56 minutes and 30 seconds.